Podcast City Network. Hey fans, this is Chris Carnage of The Chris Carnage Show, and we are here live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Podcast City Network. And I tell you what, we have a fun-filled evening planned for you. So many great things, because you are here for Podcast City Network Presents Christmas Carnage. I tell you what, it's going to be an exciting time, but at this time I have to introduce two very important people that are here with me this evening. None other first than Everett Lee of The Everett Lee Show.
What's up, Chris?
What's going on?
Not much, man. Not much. Join the holiday spirit.
Oh, yeah, and we have a lot of spirit to go around tonight. I tell you what, it's going to be an amazing time. But we have one other person with us. That person is none other than David C. Russell of Deathmatch Russell Podcast. How are you?
Well, hello. Chris Carnage, the one and only, and Everett Lee. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
What's going on with the Christmas spirit here? Are we a little festive? We all have glasses on tonight. I see. I'm gonna pay tribute to the Macho Man. Looks like we got a little Bray Wyatt action in the house right there by Chris Carnage himself. Yeah.
Gonna give the presents.
That's right. Let's open up some presents, shall we?
Presents.
Did someone say presents? Did someone say presents? Chris, I got a bunch of presents right here for you. Let me give you some presents here. I just want to spread some holiday cheer, if I can.
Cheer.
Yeah,
cheer.
cheer.
Beers too. Don't forget about the beers.
Yeah, let me spread you some holiday cheer, Chris. This is from everyone at Podcast City Network right here.
I love presents.
I love presents.
Big Christmas tree. There's one present, two present.
That's a lot of Christmas presents.
Yeah, that is. That definitely is.
I tell you
I
what,
better
that's
watch out.
craziness. You might get hit next, David. Watch out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No one's safe tonight with the green screen effects for Christmas, man.
No, definitely not. But you know what? It's going to be a great night. We got a lot of awesome things planned.
Chris, where'd you go?
I'm broadcasting live from inside all of these presents.
Oh, that's awesome.
I found me a nice mic and a nice transmitter receiver and a computer. A lot of great presents in here.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, though, we do have a really great night planned out. It's going to be a lot of fun, especially for one of the last episodes we're doing of the year of 2018. So you know what? We need to kick this holiday spirit off right. So first things first for tonight, we're bringing back something we haven't done in a while. Everett Lee, I think you remember about this.
What's that?
We call it the good old top 5 list.
Oh yeah, that's right, man. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that top 5 list we used to do. That was just great, man. I'm excited.
Oh,
about
that
it.
was great.
Yeah.
You know what? So let's start it out right. Let's do top 5 Christmas songs.
Top 5 Christmas songs.
Top 5 Christmas songs. So Denver, Everett Lee, whichever you're called these days. Let's start out with you.
Top 5 Christmas songs. Let's see. Damn. Where do I start?
Gotta think about it.
Yeah, I know. I got to think about this.
They've been our heads all friggin' week. Come on.
You know what? While you think about that, I'm gonna sit here and eat some Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, a little sweet tooth for the Santa.
Oh man.
Wait a minute. You know, Chris, you didn't go down. You got to follow it up by a cold beverage. Have to follow that up by cold beverage.
I have none with me. I drank them all.
No.
Santa got done early, so Santa's having fun.
Oh.
All right. I do have a top 5. I'm going to start number 5. My favorite Christmas song would have to be It's Beginning to Look a Lot Like Christmas. That's my favorite one. That one right there sets me in the mood every time I hear it. Here in the last month at work during the day, I've been hearing a lot of Christmas music. And that song's been coming on, and especially in the morning when I start my work day, as soon as we click on the radio, we got it on the Christmas station with the Christmas music playing, and that's like the first song that pops on, and it just sets the mood, sets the day for me. I am ready to take on the day, man. Accomplishments, and just take on whatever comes at me.
I can appreciate that. Mine's a little bit different, though. It has to be Twisted Sister's Heavy Metal Christmas.
Ooh.
Tell you what, I like to rock out with my Christmas.
Nice.
But what about you, David?
Good old Jingle Bells. Good old Jingle Bells. All the way.
Can't go wrong.
No.
Can't go wrong with Jingle Bells.
I mean, there's so many versions of all these songs that we know, and to me,
that's true.
You know, I don't even know today's music today. Like, I don't like who remade some songs. I bet you there's tons of people that just did some, you know. But it is what it is. It's the holiday season. We always listen to the same stuff over and over every time. I mean, like Everett said, you know, in stores when I used to work in stock and stuff, that's all I would hear. You know, but times change, man. When you listen to it all, we grew up with that stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. But for the second part of our top 5, though, Everett, what do you have?
What do I have? Well, I guess for I would have to say that song from Home Alone where he's Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin's walking around the house, the one that goes dum bum 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 bum. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. You know that one right there? I love.
Definitely know that
song.
one. That's an old-timey classic.
Yeah,
classic.
That's a good one. I'm more the classic Christmas songs. I am.
Don't blame me there. Because actually, my second one is also a classic, and it was one David just listed, Jingle Bells.
Ooh,
so,
nice.
We're tied.
Get my classic on, too. But how about you, David? What's your number 2?
Well, I'd have to say, you know, as he was just saying, Everett was just saying Christmas, like Home Alone. I like that one song where he's like, what do you call it? He's in the burglars at the back door, and the music starts going. I think, I forget. Maybe I'm wrong, but no, I'll just go with "Holiday Road" by Chevy Chase. That's one of my favorite.
Can't go wrong with that one. Can't go wrong with that one.
Nope.
No.
Definitely can't. But that brings us back around to you, Everett Lee, number 3.
Number 3. I would have to say number 3 for me would have to be Jingle Bell Rock. Jingle Bell Rock.
That's a good one.
I love that. And I love the different varieties, the different variations of that over the years, because they've kept it the same when it comes to that. Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell, Jingle Bell Rock. And a lot of people's covered it, a lot of artists and stuff, and I can't complain, because how can you mess up a song like that right there? You can't.
Oh, most definitely.
You can't.
Oh, you really can't. You really can't. And it's funny that you say that, because Jingle Bell Rock was also my number 3.
Oh.
So, very funny. Great minds must think alike. But with that, we got to turn it over to David and see what his number 3 is.
Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Oh,
That's the
there you
one I
go.
was trying to think of.
That's a nice one. Yeah,
That
okay.
was the one I was trying to think. That scene where he brings up all the people to party in the house.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great. You had all the cutouts of like NBA stars stuff going by.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
Yep, Michael Jordan. Which funny, I don't know if y'all have seen. They actually came out with a commercial I saw the other day. That was them remaking all that with Macaulay Culkin now as an older
Yeah.
character, and being able to come out and enjoy all the new technologies. Like he had actually a cutout of I think it was Kevin Durant playing for the Golden State Warriors on a Roomba or whatever it is, and just all kinds of funny stuff like that.
He had Alexa or whatever the hell that.
Yeah, had Alexa setting help set off his traps and all that kind of stuff. And it's just funny, no matter what, how you see a lot of these old-timey Christmas, staples that ended up always popping back up.
But you know what? He doesn't like going over and over and over and saying his parts of the, he just does not like that. You notice that? Everett, we were talking about this earlier. A little bit. We were saying how he just
definitely.
Yeah.
Just
it was.
People don't care. Like he doesn't care.
Well, that's the role that has defined him, and he'll never escape it because it's going to be with him no matter what. I mean.
But you know what, Chris? He has his own podcast.
Does he now?
He does. Bunny Ears.
Yep.
See, I know he's done Broadway and whatnot as well, so it's funny, this greatest thing that he's known for is Home Alone as a child, but everything since it's like, oh man, what's Macaulay Culkin doing? What's Macaulay Culkin doing?
He got his one day. He got his one fame in a wrestling show one time at a.
Yes, I know what you're referring to.
The Joey Ryan scene. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cali.
Oh yeah, but with that though, we'll go ahead and move on to number 4, and we'll get back to you, Everett.
Number 4. Let's see. Damn. What would be my number 4? I would have to say. What, number 4?
Number 4.
No.
Number 4.
Number 4. We're at a 3.
Oh, we're at 4 now. We had David's 3. Are you sure you haven't been drinking too much eggnog tonight here, sir?
No, because I mentioned 2 of them already.
Been sipping on Grandpa's medicine again, I tell you.
Yeah. This would be number 3, man, not number 4. We did number 4. We went back to David's number 4. Now we're at 3.
How are we going backwards? See, this man's been drinking too much eggnog. I can tell already.
No.
Too much eggnog for you.
No, because
that wasn't eggnog, was it?
No.
Oh. The ribbing begins.
Oh, the ribbing begins. Yeah, it does. And
with that, some more Sour Patch Kid.
Don't OD on those things. First ever Chris Carnage ODs on Sour Patch Kids.
Well, you know what,
First
man?
case ever.
I would make sure. I would definitely make sure that you didn't have no angry gingerbread men coming at you.
What?
Some angry gingerbread men coming at you, man. I'd make sure that didn't happen. Oh man. Oh, what do we got here? What do we got here?
What is this?
Oh no. Is that just gingerbread man? Oh no. What'd you guys do? What'd you guys do, man? I'd have to say, okay, my other song, it would have to be John Lennon. It's the John Lennon Christmas song. Damn, I can't think of the name of it. You know what I'm talking about?
What's going on? It's something else.
Oh, definitely. I can't remember the name of it to save my life, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. What? I have to have my wife help me out in this. What is it? Huh? Yeah, I can't. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's forgetting too, man. Yeah, but that would be my 4 or 3. So, all right.
Wherever we might be at that point. My next one honestly would have to be my number 4. Winter Wonderland.
Ooh, nice. That's a good one.
Yeah, a nice classic.
Winter Wonderland. That's a good one, man. Mm-hmm. That definitely is. It is.
Oh yeah. David?
Well, I'll have to go with Deck the Halls with Boughs of Holly. You know, I'm referring to that movie. I'm sure you guys know.
Oh my goodness.
You know which one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We'll do that later.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely know which one you're talking about, man.
I know. It was on today. I watched a little bit of it.
Oh, was it on today?
Is it on? I'm sure. Yeah.
It probably starts tomorrow because don't they do a 24-hour marathon of that? If I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty sure, yeah.
Yes.
And I watch it every year, no matter what relative's house I'm at for Christmas. We'll watch it.
I just love it over and over. You just don't get tired of that.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
All right, but Everett, your next one.
All right. I would have to say Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose. And if you ever saw it, you'd say it glows like a light bulb. Oh, damn.
And so ended the singing career of the one Everett Lee. Thank you for watching this documentary on VH1.
How's my singing, everyone? Okay, I won't sing again.
The masses have spoken. So, on that note, my next one will actually have to be Wizards in Winter by Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
Ooh, nice. Ooh. Nice. That's a good one. That is.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love a good Christmas orchestra because just the instrumental.
They always pull it off. I like that. No, that's always awesome too. You blast it in the car. It sounds good.
Mm-hmm. And then if you are able to set it up to your Christmas lights on your house and get it to strobe in just the right way, makes for an excellent Christmas presentation.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that definitely does. It definitely does. Yeah.
Oh yes, most definitely. But David, what would be your next one?
Joy to the world.
This is one who should also not quit his day job.
Thank you.
Oh, it's all in good fun, though. All in good fun.
Yes, it is. At least it don't sound.
Fickle.
Yep.
Oh man, that's great.
That is.
That's great. Everett, I think you have one more, don't you?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. My last one.
One fall.
Have a very Merry Christmas. And
oh, that's a good one.
Yes.
That's a good one.
Have a merry... Oh, yeah. I said I wasn't going to sing again. No one's booing yet, so let me go ahead. You know, before anyone starts booing. Have a merry...
Yes. We'll go ahead and cut you off there before they do start booing. So, no, that was a great top 5. Love all the selections.
Sing.
All right, go ahead.
Let me sing.
Sing.
All right, here's a good one I like, okay? Wreck the raws, rouse, or raw, 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 raw.
Oh man, that's good stuff. But on that note, we're gonna go ahead and move on to our next segment. It's gonna be about some upcoming Marvel films that are gonna be coming out. Really excited about some of these that are gonna be coming out in 2019, including Captain Marvel in March. You have Avengers Endgame in April, Dark Phoenix in June, and of course Spider-Man: Far From Home in July. It's gonna be some really good stuff. Denver, Everett, whichever we call you these days. What are your thoughts on some of these movies, and do you think these are actually going to reach expectations?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff coming out, and I'd have to definitely say that for 2019 on the list there, you named off quite a bit, and looking at the list right here, there's 2 movies I'm really interested in seeing for 2019, and that first one is going to be Captain Marvel. I am wanting to know where and how is she going to fit into when Avengers Endgame hits and the following month, because we've seen what happened with Infinity War, right? You saw Infinity War, right, Chris? You finally did?
Finally did.
You finally did the end credit scene basically on an old pager, which paged Captain Marvel. And we know Captain Marvel takes place in one of my favorite eras. I'm talking about the 90s, man. The 90s. Yeah. And by the trailer, if you didn't know, because when that trailer, the first trailer, they dropped a Captain Marvel when she comes flying into a fucking blockbuster video, you know what you know what it is. And then maybe we'll get to see how Nick Fury loses an eye, because he has 2 eyes in this, and it's going to be interesting. Also true. It is, and how she fits into Avengers Endgame, because Avengers Endgame, that's another one. The teaser they gave so far, nothing has been really mentioned about where and who. But one interesting thing is, also a lot of people's wanting to know, is how Paul Rudd, Ant-Man, how does he get out of the quantum zone? How is that going to happen? And who gets him out of there? Because we saw what happened with the mid-credit scene with Ant-Man and the Wasp. He gets sucked in there, and then Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer, and you know, they got taken out by Thanos' snap, so he got caught in there. How does he get out? And from what they've been talking about online, a lot of theories I've watched ever since Infinity War came out. I watched a lot of fan stuff and fan theories. There's been some excellent fan theories on YouTube about what Avengers Endgame is going to be. One thing that did come up was a photo got leaked with looking where Chris Evans, Captain America, in the suit that he wore during the first Avengers movie. But you also have, for example, you have freaking Ant-Man on the set there too. So it brings up the question, with an older Tony Stark, is there going to be time travel? So there's a lot of stuff in that. Dark Phoenix. Okay, Dark Phoenix. The reboot of the X-Men franchise, the first 2 have been spectacular. I'd have to say that with First Class was great. I loved it.
I'd have to agree, yeah.
Days of Future Past, I loved it. X-Men Apocalypse, I thought it was decent. I thought it was okay, but I feel
it could have been better for what it was.
Yeah, it could have been a little bit better, because I feel like they've rushed with a lot of things and a lot of stuff that happened in that movie, and they could have did a lot better. Dark Phoenix, this Phoenix is going to be done right, not like the Last Stand. But Last Stand don't exist, because remember, Days of Future Past erased that, Chris. They erased that, and I'd have to say Dark Phoenix, this version is going to be great, and it's going to be neat how they go about this story, because they got so much they can draw on. And
most definitely, and I feel like it could end up being a really good story, but it just really depends upon if they get the execution right. I feel like the actress that they actually cast for it should be able to portray it very well, especially given her roles in such things as Games of Thrones that really required a high level of acting to be able to portray what they were trying to get. So. Yes. With her as Dark Phoenix, I always love the Phoenix character, especially the Dark Phoenix side of this character. I'm just interested how it's going to tie into everything else. Does it tie into everything else? Does this end up being its own standalone? Like, what is the eventual goal of Dark Phoenix?
Right, because of the Fox deal. That's something too, right. with Fox getting, you know, Disney buying the Disney thing. If I remember, Disney and Marvel, and Fox basically losing the rights of these characters. And will we see these characters end up in the MCU now, come back? That's going to be interesting.
And they need to, in my opinion, because I feel like the MCU's been kind of incomplete through all this, just because of the fact that you have all these different deals between these production companies that are really starting to put a stranglehold on the availability of characters for a storyline.
Exactly. So much can happen, so much can be done with the crossovers and having these characters in the MCU. They would be great. One character in mind that Fox owns, I'd like to see in the MCU, is Logan, Wolverine. Hugh Jackman.
That would be amazing. And that was an amazing movie as well.
Yeah, definitely. Had to get a little drink there from going on and on and on. Now, Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, we already know that the details are being kept a little bit unwrapped, though, but one thing that we do know that did come out was the fact that we will have one character that we have not seen on the screen yet, and that is, I believe, Mysterio, the magician.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
yes.
we're gonna see him. He's played by, if I can remember this off the top of my head, he's be played by none other than was it Josh Gordon-Levitt, I think.
Levitt. Josh Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Who's an amazing actor, in my opinion, and I feel like he will actually do a really good job in that role, especially given some of the roles he's had, like with Inception, that required a certain amount of methodical style mind thinking for that role. So him to be able to step into that character, I think, will be honestly a really nice compliment to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is going to be really interested to see that, because I mean I loved him in Third Rock from the Sun, man, and I loved him in his role he played in The Dark Knight Rises. I know it wasn't really a big one though, but I liked it. I mean, actually, no. Let me take that back. I just pulled it up right here. No, it's Jake Gyllenhaal who's going to be playing Mysterio.
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yes,
that's
I'm
right.
sorry.
They actually passed over Justin Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah. It's not him. I don't know why I was thinking of him. And then, of course, rumored to be is Happy Hogan, which is John Farrah. And, of course, Nick Fury is rumored
of course.
And then Betty, and then Flash Thompson, of course. The whole story, what's so far about it is, if what they've mentioned is that after the events of Avengers Endgame's, Peter Parker and his friends go on a summer vacation to Europe, and there Peter finds himself trying to save his friends against a villain known as Mysterio. Okay, right there already we know what's basically going to happen with Peter Parker because of Avengers Endgame. We know that these characters that were killed off, they are going to come back. They definitely are going to come back, that we thought was lost.
Definitely.
Because something is going to be interesting. It goes back to Avengers. Be interested to see that. But yeah, 2019, they have a lot of good stuff that's coming out with the Marvel movies. And
then if you look even past that, there's a lot of good stuff that's going to come out in 2020 eventually. When you look at things like Gambit and stuff like that, it's going to be very interesting how the MCU is going to play out more as more of these individualized stories are told. And that's the great part about it. So I don't know, it's quite interesting, like how it could all work out. But I just hope that it's all done right, and that's the big thing at the end of the day, is making sure that all of these are done correctly.
Exactly. They need to be done correctly, because that's just, they got to. I mean, why would they not be?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, we'll definitely see how it all plays out, especially going into the new year. But I tell you what, man, we only have about 8 days left in the year. This is crazy.
It is. It definitely
feels like
is.
this year is just blown by.
Time flies.
Yeah,
time flies when you're having fun. But with that, we've been having a lot of fun this year, so we need to talk about the people who allow us to have that fun with some of these great sponsors we had. You want to go ahead and read those off, Everett?
Yeah. The sponsors and supporters of Podcast City Network you can find over on podcastcity.net, and you can check them out on the sponsor tab at the top of the screen on the website. I want to give a shout out to City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, Florida, home of Draft Day. Head over to City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, Florida, for a wide selection of indoor and outdoor sporting, stage out back for live events, brew on tap, food menu. The grilled cheese is excellent, and much, much more at City Limits Tap Room in DeLand, Florida. And if you're looking to find that vinyl record, CD, or cassette you may have lost, well, Atlantic Sound Records in Daytona Beach may have it. Off of International Boulevard in Daytona Beach, Atlantic Sounds has a wide variety of memorabilia, vinyls, CDs, and cassettes for your collection. So hit them up on Facebook at Atlantic Sound Records. And let's give some love to SportsSanityCustoms.com. Head over there for a Podcast City Network t-shirt and your custom apparel needs. Anything you need done, custom apparel, that is your hookup right there at SportsSanityCustoms.com. And a shout out to Kentucky Zone Wrestling. Head over to Kentucky Zone Wrestling on Facebook to check out wide variety of promos and upcoming events from Kentucky Zone Wrestling, all brought to you by the master of wrestling ring music, Hurricane JJ McGuire, all over on Kentucky Zone Wrestling on Facebook. And of course, this is all brought to you by podcastcity.net. You can find more of this on the sponsor tab at podcastcity.net.
Man, good stuff. Always love it. But you know what? There's one more thing that needs to be talked about, because I've been feeling a little something in my collar, a little something in my elbow. Wait a minute. David C. Russell, what more can you tell us about this?
Well, that's right. You can find, you can purchase some holiday gifts for your loved one, your friends, your family, wrestler friends, and fans all over the world. You can support Collar and Elbow by saving 10% off your purchases, typing in your promo code Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Go to the link, click on the link, collarandelbowbrand.com.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Definitely make sure you check that out. It definitely helps my little pains. So I tell you what, man, this is a great show so far. A lot of great stuff still to come, though. You know what I think it might be time for, though?
What's that?
I think it's time for another top 5 list.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Top 5. 5 alive. So
it's almost like the Casey Kasem. You remember Casey Kasem back in the day?
Oh yeah, definitely remember Casey Kasem.
We're gonna take it back. Top 5 hits of the year.
Top 5. Top 5.
I used to love that. I used to sound like that as a kid. I used to love that.
I want to give a shout out real quick to our viewers right now viewing on Twitch. I want to give a shout out to you guys who are on viewing us on Podcast City.
The Shouty McShout.
Shout out. We basically want to say thank you for tuning in, and we just want to cheers on that right there. But
always much appreciated. We love our fans. We love everybody that takes the time to view everything that we do, because at the end of the day, everything that we do is for you, the fans.
That's right.
So, with our top 5, though,
top 5.
I think we need to keep in the holiday spirit and do top 5 holiday movies.
Top 5.
And I'll go ahead and I'm going to kick this one off with one of my all-time classic favorites, How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
Nice.
Such a great tale. And you know what? I've literally watched it, I think, every single year since I could remember. And I never tire of it. Always such a great story. My kids love it. Always good stuff.
Now,
always good stuff.
You're talking about the cartoon, right? Because you know
the cartoon version, not the Grinch.
Yeah, not okay.
But How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Dr. Seuss tale.
Yes. Yeah, I love that. I love that too. I'm a fan of that right there. I love watching that. I love watching it every year, and it's just fantastic. And nothing beats the original. The Jim Carrey, that was good, but the new one I'm kind of skeptical about. So I always have to go back to the classics, man.
You know what's crazy too is that my kids have been watching these for so long that they think that the Jim Carrey version is the original. It's like, no, there's this cartoon one. It's real awesome. Came out way before it. And they're like, nah, Daddy, we want to watch this one.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey's funny. And it's like, yes, but at the end of the day, this is the original. But, you know, it is how it is. But, David, what would be one of your top 5 Christmas movies?
Man, I said it earlier. Christmas Story.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely a good one. Definitely a good one. But you know what? I still feel like the Grinch.
The Grinch.
A Grinch. What about you, Everett Lee?
I would have to say, hey, you got my name right.
Oh.
I remember this time.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Well, you know what? I'd have to say, basically, I feel that we should have ourselves a little thing I like to do. Let's have a dance break.
Ole!
Oh, yes.
That's it. Those reindeers, man. They may come back later tonight. Okay, I'd have to say my top 5 for my movies right there. Well, actually, you know what? Let me let David elaborate more on why he picked A Christmas Story.
Take it away.
Hello, David.
Yeah. What? What?
All right, I'm moving on. David's sitting there and
Christmas
it's like,
story, why? Because you shot your eye out, kid?
you shoot your eye out, kid.
Everett?
You shoot your eye out, kid. And I'm sitting there, David, come on, man. I'm like getting ready to say, like, you know.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
Yeah, there's so many good moments in that. My favorite thing in that movie is the lamp. Okay, here's the question. I want to ask both of you guys this. Okay, was it knocked over accidentally or intentionally?
Question.
Mm-hmm. That is one.
Santa would know.
Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
That's right. That's right.
Oh man,
so many good things about that movie. It's just great. So many stuff. I like it when the dad's in the furnace down there in the basement beating up the furnace. And it's just the look on the kid's face, just
yeah.
It's like that's
definitely one of my favorite parts of that one.
Yeah, that's basically how my face and my brother's faces were with my dad watching him trying to put up a damn Christmas tree every year. It's same thing, man. Same thing.
Oh
same
man.
thing.
Yeah, it's always good stuff. I tell you what, I really loved that one too. But my next one though would have to be, and if you say it's not a Christmas movie, I will give you an F5. Die Hard. Ha ha.
Ooh,
Great
yeah.
action-packed awesomeness wrapped up into Christmas specialness. I love it.
Awesome.
Yes.
Just say it. Just say it. So on that note, though, David,
Well,
what would be your next one?
You know what? I'm going to take a nice little. I like going on vacation. You know, so a Christmas vacation with the Griswolds is always classic. You know, come on.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
The cat in the tree gets electric. Aunt Elda or the the fucking what are they have the holiday cakes. Oh my god.
Yeah.
All that crap is like really.
Man.
I like the old man.
Dang, I should pull that one out.
The old man.
I still want to order me one of those cups. I think I'm going to order myself one of those Marty Moose mugs. I want to get one of them. It look really cool just to have. You know?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. My two favorite two favorite things out of that movie right there would have to be the old man. He's sitting there and he catches the tree on fire and turns around with
Yeah.
Or the one out, or you got the uncle going outside cleaning the sewage.
Oh man! Merry Christmas, shitter's full.
Oh, that's good stuff.
That is.
Oh, so Everett, what would be your next one?
Let me add one more thing, and I'll go on to my next one. when the grandmother's sitting there at the table trying to say the blessing and stuff, and he goes, "Thank the blessing."
Oh yeah.
Oh, that is a good one. That is a good one.
All right, let's see. Number 5 was Christmas Story. Number 4, Christmas Vacation. Number 3, I would have to say for me, would have to be shoot. No, not that one. Number 3 would have to be Santa Claus from 1984 or the 80s with Dudley Moore. That one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was.
We originally said Santa Claus. I thought you were going to go a slightly different route with a more recent Santa Claus that used to be a good old tool man.
Well, you know what? We still got 2 more spots. So.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But what about that movie did you like?
What I liked about it was how they basically took Dudley Moore, and everything with that movie was they tried to commercialize Santa Claus and tried to really commercialize Christmas, because it captured that on what Christmas basically became up in the 1980s, was the capitalism of commercialism, and they played it off really well with that. And of course, Santa wasn't going to have none of that. He was going to basically stick to what he did best, and that was deliver toys to all the children.
Very nice. Very nice. Always a good story, and you can't go wrong with that when you want to give kids to toys to children. There's the words I'm looking for.
Yes.
Speaking, I can do that. All right, so with my number 3, my next one would have to be one that hasn't even necessarily that I've even seen yet, because I think it's going to be amazing. Once Upon a Deadpool, because I think it's going to be hilarious.
Dude, no way. Wow.
I'll be that guy. I love Deadpool, and honestly, I feel like Ryan Reynolds was born to play Deadpool. I feel like ever since that he came out of the womb and just went, ha ha, goo goo gaga, I'm going to be Deadpool. And that's just how that was going to be. So I feel like it's going to be good. Still haven't seen it yet. Don't care. Definitely my number 3. Take it away, David.
Oh, no way. We know what that one is. We definitely know what that one is. Which one?
Home Alone 1.
Nice.
The classic.
Yeah.
The classic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was always a good series too until they got to about the 3rd one, and then it's like, okay, you guys are just trying to beat this horse, to death over here. So let's just leave that horse alone.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
there's so many spots in that movie that are just like, classic and just funny all around. And like, second one, like, what'd you think of the second?
Well, the second one though did have our current president in it. Just saying.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I like the second one because they took, and the second Home Alone, they took what made the first one great, and they didn't try to change anything dramatic, but they put it on a much larger scale, man. And I liked how they basically used the apartment. Kevin McAllister used that apartment, his aunt and uncle's apartment, and it was like, what can he do this time differently than what he did in the first one? The
toolbox.
Oh, that's
right. Toolbox.
Say bricks.
Yeah, the bricks. The bricks for the grace.
Bricks on the roof.
But I loved how they added for the paint can. Remember, they're like with the paint can. That was great because they're like, hold on, Marv is like, remember what happened last year? I'm gonna get him. Oh, and then the paint can flies. It's like, I'm coming right behind you. Oh snap! And then when they ran up there, it was like, he was smarter. I love that.
Definitely.
And then when
Definitely.
they hit when the pipe hit them and their backs hit they did get the paint cans, but they fell. But that was just great. But the first one was great. The first one was great when he was sitting there watching the movie and everything.
Or the tarantula.
Oh yeah.
The tarantula. I heard.
Nice picture of Buck. What the hell's his brother's name?
Oh, Buzz.
Buzz, picture of your girlfriend.
Ew, Buzz's girlfriend. Ew. Buzz.
I like the part where he goes, Buck, I'm going to your room.
And then you got the uncle. Remember the uncle, man? The uncle, man, he was just fucking I don't know. The uncle was just crazy.
Out there?
Yeah, he was out there.
Climbs up on but when he's in his bedroom, his brothers climbs up on the shit and everything. That's when a tarantula falls. I remember that.
Oh yeah, it falls right on me, just screams.
I know.
Oh man.
I heard that was
But then I like when he goes to the
improv.
store and says, "Yeah, I got some money for my the tin can full of fishing worms or something." Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Oh,
was,
that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
Does this toothbrush come medically approved by the FCA or whatever he said, Dental Association?
where's your parents? Where's your mom? Home? Where's your dad? Or no, where's your dad? At work? Where's your mom? In the car? Or no, at home? It's like,
Yeah.
At home.
it's like, lady, I'm 11 years old. You think me going out by myself, not being able to take care of myself?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that.
So with that though, Everett Lee, what was gonna be your next one?
My number two, excuse me, my number two. We're on number 2, not 4. Two falls.
37. Oh, sorry.
Well, if I can, let me do like Conan. If I can speak on this, but David probably gave me a
33 and a third chance.
to actually remember what I'm talking about. Had to play it on you, man. Had to play it on you. I would have to say my number 2 would have to be, it would have to be Home Alone. That would have to be my number 2 right there, Home Alone. The first one. Yeah, just so much stuff into that, like we discussed and everything. One last thing I want to add on that is that with the Home Alone, you can't forget about the neighbor, the one he was scared about. Yeah,
that's true.
Can't forget about that. That was so great, and a good backstory to that and everything. And yeah, the wet bandits and the pizza guy, and just the hijinks that went into it. And I'll just leave it as that.
Very nice, very nice. Don't blame me there. My my number 2. What would it have to be? It'd have to be good timeless classic, Charlie Brown Christmas.
Nice.
Always loved that one. Always a classic. Love watching it. Kids love watching it, and they don't just fake it and say we love this one instead. They actually enjoy it, and it's always good family, wholesome fun.
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, though, David, what will be your next?
Oh, that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Oh, what the heck was that? The one where he's
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way, yeah.
Nice.
Oh, that's a good one.
Nice. Right. I mean, what
Very
parent
nice.
what parent would, not go out of their way to get their kid that toy that they want for Christmas, man?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Chris,
True
you and
story.
I mean, you have more experience on that, and I will eventually get to that.
Shit, you
I had to
with
brave
my
a
daughter.
Walmart 2 days in a row within 5 days of Christmas.
Wow. Damn.
That's why I have this beard.
You're gonna lose that beard. Lose that beard. Auction it off tonight.
Gonna somehow sign it and auction it for charity.
Yeah.
For Walmart survivors of Christmas.
Yeah. Speaking
So
of
with that,
go ahead.
what will be your next one, Everett?
My number 1, you mentioned it, and I mentioned it.
One!
Woo! My number 1. My number 1 would have to be Santa Claus, Tim Allen. I just love that movie.
I knew it was gonna come up.
Yeah, I just love that movie. I love the classics and stuff though, but that one right there, I just love because the story to it is really good, the first one. And it's like, what would you do if you were given the opportunity to become Santa Claus? And with that, you see what happens. I like the comedic stuff of Tim Allen because, I mean, every time I see him and think of him, I think of, Home Improvement and Toy Story.
Mm-hmm.
And him
definitely.
being, and also I think of a Santa Claus, And one thing about Tim Allen I love in this movie is he's like, no, I don't want to be Santa Claus. He's like, yes, you're Santa Claus. No, I don't want to fucking be Santa Claus. And then he gains all the weight, and then he tries to dye his hair and shave the beard, and it comes back. It's fantastic. It's just it's funny as hell, man. It is. And all three of them are pretty good. The first two really good. The third one, but still, the first one's my favorite, as always.
Definitely. You can't go wrong with that. They're all pretty good. I enjoyed them, but you're right. The first one, I feel like, really laid the foundation for what that franchise inevitably would become, but it was just really good, really classic. And it seemed like, oh, I'm not putting on extra weight. I'm not putting on extra weight. And then, boom! Got out to here. So, I love that part. And then he just trying to shave off the hair, and it just grows back, and he ends up looking like Chris Carnage. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
But with that, though, my number one is what has now become a classic. It's a more recent movie, but Polar Express. I just love the story of what it shows for the spirit of Christmas and being able to believe and give into giving to others, and I just loved it. It's just that good feel-good story that you just hit you right here. It's hard to get to Chris Carnage's because there's a lot of muscle and bone, but it's there.
Nice.
Right.
So with that, though, David, what would be your number one?
Gonna be Elf with Will Ferrell.
Oh, nice one. That's a good one, man.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Elf.
That's a good one. That's a good one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is.
But the elf, what's your favorite color? And you're just putting like syrup on a spaghetti. Oh, it's good stuff. I tell you what, so many good movies, old-timey classics. But you know what? There's this other thing that happens all year long that we watch every now and then. What was it called? It's that great thing. I used to do it. Oh, yeah, wrestling.
Yeah. Well, what's David's number one movie?
I said it already.
Oh, you did.
I think you hit the eggnog again.
Yeah, I'm hitting the freaking eggnog. Okay. All right.
All over the place. It's all right, though.
Yeah.
We forgive you. It's the holidays. But with wrestling in 2018, we're going to take a look back and have a little review. First things first, starting with the WWE. And I think in a lot of aspects, there was definitely some laugher moments, some sad moments, some happy moments, some sad happy moments, some happy sad moments. I don't know. WWE's all about moments, so I'm trying to go with the motive. But it started out from way back almost 1 year ago. I think one of the most profound debuts that happened, or I should say, ended up leading to the greatest of debuts, was Ronda Rousey coming out at the end of the Royal Rumble. Having recently at the time been signed to the WWE, having left UFC, and ended up leading into a tag team match at WrestleMania that honestly kind of paved the way to where she is now as the WWE Raw Women's Champion. And I tell you what, that's quite an ascension in just a year's time. And Everett, what are your thoughts on her monumental rise in less than a year?
Well, if I could take something from McShaft. Well, I'd have to say Ronda Rousey in debuting in 2018. It was great that they let her come in like she did at WrestleMania. They let her come in a tag match. That way, she didn't start off with a singles match, and eventually she made her transition into singles. And so far, her performance and everything that she's done is just I couldn't go wrong or say really anything about it, because for the fact I know this is all new to her, and you could tell with the body work so far within not even being there a year that she's taken this real seriously, and she's trying to make the best out of it. And of course, she's working with one of the best guys who works with and who is an advocate of a UFC fighter who's a champion in WWE. That's Paul Heyman. Apparently, Paul Heyman's been working with her backstage, and you could tell in the promos and stuff, she's gotten better and better. And,
Most definitely.
And one thing about that TLC match that she had at TLC with Nia Jax is that you can tell during the first 30 seconds of that match, Nia basically was blown out. She blew up. And someone who's green and not even been in the company for a year carried her through that damn match. One spot I liked and a lot of people liked was how she stepped off her knee and did that Superman punch. And
I like that a lot too.
Nothing against Roman Reigns, but she pulled it off better. I mean,
not gonna lie, that's not too hard.
Yeah.
But one thing though that you did mention was Nia Jax, and she kind of had a monumental year herself, finally winning a title and stuff of that nature. But she caught more heat though for bringing the old Duke Johnson across the good old bridge of Becky Lynch's face.
Yep.
I tell you what, that was pretty monumental. David, what are your thoughts about Nia Jax just straight up breaking Becky Lynch's face?
Man, that was a moment that was like trending worldwide. I was like in shock too when that happened.
Oh yeah, that was nuts.
She just out of the blue, bam,
what's crazy too is that when you watch the replay of it and just watch it in the slow-mo and it just come across, it's like, man, she just went with reckless abandon and just took her face out.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you what, it was just wild. What are your thoughts on that, Everett?
Yeah, just Nia Jax just taking Becky out. I mean, that right there. I mean, she cold cocked her. I mean, she just like hauled off, and it was like she just she knocked the fucking shit out of her. I hate to say that. She did. But
you know what though? But I gotta give it to Becky Lynch though for still finishing the whole angle, being able to go out, still wrestle people around, get up, just pouring blood out of her face, and still being able to do everything she needed to do to get over the angle.
Oh yeah, definitely.
However, it ended up costing a match.
Mm-hmm. It did. What they were talking about anyway, that they were talking about that Becky was the way they were going to book it. Becky was going to lose to Ronda, and I guess this was a blessing in disguise because you've seen her on Twitter. You've seen her on Twitter, David. You've seen the stuff Robin's put up on Podcast City.
Robin goes off and
that stuff is good.
That stuff.
Honestly, that stuff is good.
Really good.
The stuff that she's been putting out there on Twitter. I mean, it's been entertaining. I mean, how could you not, go wrong with that?
Definitely. And did you even see like where Animal came out and made a post today about how she needs to kind of calm down with the man gimmick and all this, and her only response was the first 4 words of this post of this heading, is a lie, and it says, what was it? Animal thinks or something like that, and it's like, wow, and it's just nothing but just fire that comes from Becky Lynch, whether she's interacting with some Hall of Famer, current superstar, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey. It doesn't matter. It's just fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. She's on fire, is she not, David, on Twitter? Because we get a kick out of that.
She's like a Twitter, Twitter power,
Twitter power.
Twitter power. Twitter power.
Twitter power.
Just have the but usually that's the staff. It's not actually their official accounts. Sometimes you got to realize that WWE pays a media staff to put all that shit out there too.
This is true.
It really is.
Right.
Yeah,
but on that point though, we are going to shift some gears, and we're going to take a look at something else that happened right around Royal Rumble time. Actually, at the Royal Rumble, where we had not 1 but 2 international superstars win.
Didn't Nicholas make an appearance? Nicholas!
Yes, and you know what? We don't badmouth that name around here. He is a former tag team champion.
He is.
Yes.
You know what? And they never did make a T-shirt. I never did call their store. I'm going to call them up one of these days. I'm on Podcast City. I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Call.
You know, though, that is still a first time ever, though, that a minor has been able to go into the ring and win himself a championship on the big stage. Hats off to that young man. He did it with his ailment. Hats off. I wish I had another beer to toast to this man.
Yeah.
Boy.
Well, let's give him a round of applause. How about that, Chris?
Sounds good.
All right, let's give him a round of applause here. Yep, we'll give him a round of applause. And one thing I want to mention. Oh, okay. I thought you froze there, Chris. One thing I want to mention.
I'm just good at sitting very still.
One thing I want to mention is that another person had a really good year, but he's from wrestling, and I'm gonna have to say that would have to be the Great One. You know what I'm talking about?
There's been a couple.
Oh,
the Great One.
I'm smelling something.
What are you smelling? What are you smelling?
Smell something.
I'm smelling something too, David. What is that?
What is-
I'll tell you what I smell.
Do you smell what the Carnage is cooking? The Carnage says. 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 Know your damn role.
That's right, the Rudy Poo candy asses.
Yes. Honestly, I'd have to say,
I love that.
The Great One, The Rock. He had a good year in movies, but there were so many things talking about that he was going to probably return, and he never did. I can think of.
You live, you move.
I know.
Make movies. Hey, it's just money.
Yeah,
And he came out with a new show too, the Titan Game. So
yes,
at the end of the day,
yeah.
He did. He came out with that new show.
There's actually a wrestler who's on there. Actually, Rob Echoes.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Robbie E.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be on that show.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, Jersey
most
guy.
definitely.
What
Jersey guy.
What else happened in WWE in 2018? I mean,
They just had a match. I don't know.
Well, they had the first ever all women's pay-per-view,
That killed-
WWE Evolution, that I think was equal parts good, equal parts bad, just because of the fact that a lot of the booking got messed up in the lead up. A lot of things got changed last minute. And then parts of the show were kind of dead on arrival. But the fact that it happened is still a big, monumentous moment. So, got to take the good with the bad.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on it, Everett?
I feel that, it kind of fell short because it kind of spoiled, well, actually it did spoil. It spoiled Women's Evolution. I mean, Women's Evolution, it basically spoiled the outcome of the Mae Young Classic that was going on because
definitely
the notes came out, and right then and there it stated who was going to be having a match it came down to the last two people for the Mae Young Classic, and it spoiled it for me because after that came out and I seen it and I shouldn't have seen it, I did not want to watch the rest of the Mae Young Classic. But I'd like to go back and watch it because, I mean, just to see some good talent. And Women's Evolution, they did try to do something and try to change something and try to bring something fresh and stuff. But a lot of the pay-per-view was, dead on arrival. And, I mean, it was just, I mean, you got to give them just a little bit of credit for trying and, trying to do something that's not been done, like the Women's Royal Rumble.
That is true. And, we definitely have to give them their due with that just because it's still a monumentous occasion for something like that to happen. But, it was interesting, and it still paves the way, though, for the expansion of women's wrestling. What are your thoughts on it, David?
Absolutely. You know, and I've seen a lot of those talents come in and out the door of a lot of companies too that were actually independent market, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They brought it in. It's good for them to do. The Evolution and the Mae Young Classic, you know, don't forget about that too.
Definitely.
It's great to see, you know, support the female wrestlers, man. That's what it's all about too, you know.
Most definitely.
Because they can tear it up too, you know, besides the men's. And you know, it's like how we always talk about the intergender matches, and you know, nowadays it's like they could all go on, they could do it, you know, and they're pressed.
Definitely.
See it to the higher.
Well, one person though that is sadly not going to be able to do it anymore is Paige, who actually retired this year after re-aggravating an injury during a match at the hands of Sasha Banks, and it's real sad to kind of see her go. But given a lot of the things she's also dealt with this year, where it be the leak of sexually explicit video footage that came from her phone that was hacked, or you know, a lot of the information surrounding the movie that was produced by The Rock about her family. It's been quite a year for Paige.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that, Everett?
It has. It's been a year for her. I mean, she had to retire with the neck injury. I mean, there was rumors going around about it. She never did say anything until after WrestleMania, and it was kind of hard. I mean, it hit her hard because the night after WrestleMania was the night that she debuted on the main roster from NXT, and it was the same night. I mean, just after WrestleMania, she had to announce her retirement. And it was good that he kept her around in a on-TV role, such as being a GM for SmackDown. And
most definitely,
it was good to keep her around and just to do that. And now, the way they're changing things now, what role is she going to have? Is she going to have a manager role now? Because since she's not GM on SmackDown Live, I'm interested to see what they're going to do with her now with a non-GM role.
Well, even with that, do you think that she ends up taking a step back and maybe even taking more of a producer role at that point? You know, and following the footsteps of people like Road Dogg and Billy Gunn and, you know, these other talents that ended up stepping behind the camera.
Yeah.
So with that, though, you know, it is sad to lose her. But, David, what kind of capacity do you think she could push to be able to help the women that are there now?
A lot.
All right.
All right. Short and simple, man.
Yeah, he ain't lying, because honestly, she could do a lot for those women, and she still, you know, played a big part in the women's revolution of wrestling. So I don't know. We'll definitely see what happens. But another person who was a part of that revolution was Asuka, who ended up being the first woman to win the Women's Royal Rumble. Even though she fell short at WrestleMania, though, she is still now currently the champion after her win at TLC over Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. So, you know, that's honestly a really good ride, especially for her to be an international star, just like the other Royal Rumble winner, Shinsuke Nakamura. You know,
right.
David, what do you think about these two international stars coming in and being able to leave a mark like this right off the rip?
Well, you know what, for the international, you know, it's a good spot for them to catch the eye, you know, the wrestling talent. I mean, you know, WWE market, you know, the staff and Vince McMahon or whoever, Triple H, just to bring these guys in to say what they got and what they do, and that's it, you know.
Yeah,
definitely. And you know, Triple H has been putting in a lot of hard work with NXT to grow a lot of these international talents that are really just diamonds in the rough. You know what I mean? So.
And Chris, I get see the talent firsthand, man. Like before they leave, like it's really crazy. It's local promotions, you know, CZW, you know, and lots of these other companies too in the area. It's amazing to see where they go.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, most definitely. And Everett, I know you know a lot about the international market. You know, with these two coming in and what they were involved in overseas, especially in Japan. Hey, we keep things international. So, you know, at the end of the day, what do you think about, you know, the impact, especially when it comes to promotions like New Japan Pro, and what kind of impact do you think they really have when it comes to the new homegrown talent that's starting to come up through the ranks of WWE?
Yeah, I feel that both Shinsuke and Asuka, I mean, they made a mark in NXT, and then when they came up to the main roster, they were given and they took opportunity. Asuka winning the first Women's Royal Rumble, and then Shinsuke winning the Royal Rumble. However, I felt that with both of them winning their Royal Rumbles, they both lost their matches at WrestleMania, and then they kind of like threw Asuka in the back there for a while, and then they really didn't do nothing with her. And then now,
same with Shinsuke, really.
Yeah.
Other than the U.S. title.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Shinsuke. I mean, how long and how many times could we see AJ? Yeah. Yeah, like they were calling Shinsuke this year, Shinsuke Nakamura. You know, how many times can we see? How many times can we see a Japanese guy kick a Georgia boy in the balls? You know what I mean? I just.
There you go. Right there, like,
oh man, WWE Creative basically feels like.
But you know and I know that you're only half the man that I am, and I have half the brain that you do.
damn right.
Yeah.
Damn right, indeed.
Yeah, they do. I just feel that if Shinsuke, we haven't seen Shinsuke. I forgot he even had the freaking U.S. title when they showed him on SmackDown the other night. I was like, oh, Shinsuke's still around? I was like, when did he get the U.S. title?
That's
and then I
bad.
had to think back, and I know that's how bad it is. I had to go and think back, and I'm like, when the hell did he get the damn U.S. title? And then
Oh yeah, you were
It's like,
showing me
yeah.
that on TV last week. I remember that, Everett. You were showing me that.
yeah, you asked me because I was
I
sitting
always
where we
watch
video.
TV
Yeah.
with him. Like we catch SmackDown sometimes together.
Yeah. He
Chris,
caught that.
This is great.
Yeah, David was with me
Oh,
that
that's
night.
good stuff.
Daniel Bryan, when he went heel after he won the belt, and he was out there and going fickle.
That's how we got. That's why.
Yeah.
How we told him to grab that clip.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny because it actually leads us into the next thing we're going to talk about is the return of Daniel Bryan with the heel turn and him now being WWE champion.
World's toughest vegan.
World's toughest vegan.
That's right.
Man, what are your thoughts on that, David?
Well, you know what? Daniel is coming out of a different hole now. Of a different world now. He's going. He wants to be a different Bryan Danielson. He wants to be better than he was.
Oh,
Yep.
And
American Dragon.
yeah. So.
Oh man, it's good stuff. I'm glad to see him back, especially like with a lot of the issues that he had with concussions and head trauma. You know, like someone else we're going to talk about a little bit later that we all know.
Yeah.
And it's just that can really wreck your career. So it's great to see him come back and be able to do more. But you know, Everett, are you shocked though that they would actually go and do a random heel turn like this, or was this something planned to try and help spice things up?
I feel that, it was Daniel Bryan. He was getting a little bit stale there. What are we going to do with Daniel Bryan? Okay, we haven't seen him do a heel turn in a long time. We haven't seen him, be the world's toughest vegan. But apparently, what got me was when he did the heel turn, he came out and he talked about it. Apparently, a cold and cryogenics chamber made him realize that he's going to do whatever he needs to do to succeed in his
The
dream.
hell did you come up with that term?
Well, that's what he said. I was in this chamber with the therapy, and I can hear nothing. Remember the promo that night, David? I was like, so I said after he cut the promo and he called everyone fickle, I said to myself, I said, so David, so a cryogenics thing has basically made Daniel Bryan realize everyone can go to hell and he's going to do whatever he needs. I'm like, what the hell is this? This is like fucking Terminator, you know?
Yeah.
You ain't lying, I swear. That's just some craziness.
That's why you got that soundbite. You had to have.
Yeah, but
yeah.
But at the same time, now it's good because I was reading. I hate to spoil this, but on this week's SmackDown, it was taped. Apparently, he gets into it with. I believe he gets.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert. he gets into it with R-Truth, and if I believe it, yeah, he gets into R-Truth. It basically says R-Truth is his career sucks, and he says he sucks, and Santa Claus sucks. There's no Santa Claus for the fact that the polar ice caps are melting, so that's why there's no Santa Claus. I was reading that, and I thought that was some funny shit right there. I was like, all right, the reason why Santa Claus don't exist is because Daniel Bryan said the polar ice caps are melting, so that's why there's no fucking Santa Claus.
Damn.
Actually, and what you just saying, Everett, this week that they were taping an episode for Raw, right? They were doing that because of Christmas.
Both of them.
Yeah, they both taped it because if you look at it this way, okay,
Yeah.
the Christmas tomorrow is Christmas Eve. Raw's gonna be on Christmas Eve, and with Raw being on Christmas Eve, they went ahead last week and people had to go through 6 hours of Raw, and apparently people were leaving right before the main event or during the main event on this tape Raw, which you will see tomorrow, and then on Tuesday, I don't know how that went on SmackDown, but one good thing did come out on SmackDown, which I will not spoil. And it's great. I thought it was a really good move, and I'm glad they did this. So, anyway, that's my thoughts on that.
You
Well,
remember
that's definitely some good stuff.
Everett, do you remember when we talked about a while back on remember when the Undertaker was in the ring in New York City and they cut like, remember how they ripped off the audience? Remember that?
Yeah, Raw 25, that happened this year too. We can't forget about that.
That did, Raw 25, yeah.
So many people were pissed off about that.
Oh, yeah, the dual broadcast and people who thought they were going to get one thing here, one thing there, and it ended up being just a complete botchery.
Yeah. They took...
Yeah, it was totally ridiculous.
They tried to take Chris David... They tried to...
Holy shit.
Yeah, a lot of people that went to the Manhattan Center where they used to have Raw were pissed off because they didn't really have anyone. They kept mostly over on Barkley, and a lot of them were kept in the dark because they didn't know what the hell was going on, and they started chanting bullshit. We want refunds. Now, one thing about that Raw 25 was Steve Austin on his podcast. When I listened to it, he basically said, "Right, you know
What?
You see." You got 3 hour show, son, and you take 25 years, and you try to take 25 years of cramming in that son of a bitch. It's like stumping a mud hole in his ass and walking to dry, but it's not going to work. So, yeah, the best segment of that night was the opening segment with Steve Austin coming out. He didn't have to say nothing. He gave McMahon the look. He gave him double birds. And then stun him, you know? That was fucking great, you know?
Like 1998 all over again.
Yeah, 1998. That was great.
You know, people need to check out Stone Cold Steve Austin's podcast. He's been having a lot of cool guests lately.
Really cool guests, yeah.
You know, really, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he's been having a lot of good guests on there.
Most definitely.
What else went on in 2018?
Let's see what we got here on the big list of Chris Carnage WWE 2018 review. Oh, let's see. Oh, yeah, that's right. We had the start of NXT UK, and then some of the more questionable decisions that came out of that, including barring a lot of their talent to be able to work other promotions that are in the UK. So I found that quite interesting. What are your thoughts on that, David? On the WWE really just snubbing these talents from being able to work other promotions?
That's bull. Complete bull. They can do whatever they want to do. They're not they're not signed ready to WWE. They can have the right to do what they want.
Exactly. Exactly, and they can put food on the table at the end of the day. And Everett, this is one thing I know that I had encountered a lot, and I know you know about, is that you don't make a lot of money on the indie scene sometimes. And at the end of the day, these guys have to work as much as they can to get the money that they need. Is WWE going to supply all that? Are we going to see something more long term? What happens with this situation, Everett?
Yeah, exactly. That it's just like, okay, I understand that they see a potential and a expansion, a market in the UK to do some really good stuff. However, a lot of that talent in the UK, exactly, David, it's just that they can make a lot of money on it, man. It's basically
money.
Yeah.
Do-do-do.
How about that? Now, one thing about that is, yeah, they can expand on the UK.
What are you laughing at?
Now, one thing, Chris, that yeah, they definitely can expand on the UK, and the UK wrestling scene is really hot, and it's been really great, and I think it's kind of fickle. Sorry.
Fickle.
Yeah, it's kind of fickle.
Fickle.
It's kind of fickle there, for the fact that
You know, it's funny. I'm waiting for them to someone just to come out and try and counteract him with pickle.
Oh, that'd be great.
Pickle. Hopefully
Pickle.
WWE Creative isn't watching this, but pickle.
pickle,
You know what? I'm
Pickle.
going to hashtag that later.
pickle.
Hashtag pickle.
That's it. I'm doing it right now. Right now.
What if they do a GIF with him walking around the ring and he has a pickle in his hand instead of Mike?
Pickle. Pickle.
What is Dan O'Brien like on his vegan sandwich? Pickle.
Pickle.
What do you-
Oh my God.
Hey,
Oh, it's too good.
he has to go
Oh, it's
through.
gonna be a meme in no time.
Yeah, he has to go through a fucking drive-through to get food for Brie. It's like, what do you like on your sandwich? Pickle. Where George Animal Steel when he went to
More
McDonald's
pickle.
drive-through. Remember that segment back in the day,
Oh,
George Animal
Jesus,
Steel?
yeah.
What do you? Hi, sir. May I take your order? Eat. What would you like? Food. Eat.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
You know what's crazy though? We could probably
Oh,
do a
damn.
whole segment on famous drive-throughs that include things like Triple H and Stephanie's drive-through wedding.
Oh God, yeah. We probably could. We could probably end up like doing a lot of shit. Oh man. Oh God.
Oh man!
That's
But I tell
great.
you what, we still, as part of this whole like UK thing though, it's a small part of a larger strategy. It seems like by WWE to really push themselves internationally. We
Yes.
remember the last year when they did all the stuff with India and Jinder Mahal and all that, and then pushing him as WWE champion. But now they're getting to the point that they're pushing to have international pay-per-views. They've had pay-per-views in Australia and Saudi Arabia and all this. And one event, though, that they had internationally that I thought kind of...
You know what I just saw, Everett? And it caught my eye. I might have to go in February. NXT is in my backyard.
Oh
It's in my
yeah.
next town over at a high school gym.
Yeah, you're gonna have to.
I'm
You're gonna
I'm
have
thinking-
to.
tell you right now, you need to
Go.
go to it.
Yes.
Do it. You won't. Do it. Now.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, sorry. Get
Yeah.
too excited.
Do it.
But anyways, back to what we were talking about, though. With them being international, one event that really pissed a lot of people off was the Greatest Royal Rumble because it was held in Saudi Arabia. But let's not forget who won that Greatest Royal Rumble.
Braun
Braun
Strowman.
Strowman.
Yep. Mr. Get these hands.
I'm going to get these hands.
Yeah. Get these hands. Yeah.
But what's your thoughts, though, on them being on doing these more international shows, Everett?
I feel that with these international shows, they're trying to expand on the market, and with them expanding on the market, like Saudi Arabia, it was all about the money. You know, it's all about the money. You know, I mean, how many?
Yeah.
How
And
much?
there's a lot of protests in the lead up to that event, too. And that's the crazy thing is that they had to, like, publicly address the issue. And it was like, hey, sorry, money's awesome. We're still going to Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, like, where do you actually give in to fans? Like, how many people in Saudi Arabia realistically watch WWE?
I know.
Like, realistically.
None.
I know. It's
Exactly. It would make more sense to have had it in the United Emirates, you know, Arab Emirates, or whatever it is, the UAB or UAEB or the whatever they call it. I don't know. Thing is, there's no
Airplane
fans
hangar,
out
that's
there.
it. Throw it in an airplane hangar and that's it. You know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like doing Christmas for the troops.
I know.
Oh man,
dirt.
It's just crazy. But you know what? They did have another event out in the Middle East, Crown Jewel, that was an interesting show. But there was one match on it in particular I really enjoyed. Really enjoyed. Really enjoyed. And
What's that?
was DX versus the Brothers of Destruction.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels making his return in what's been, oh my goodness, almost 10 years.
I know.
Showstopper.
Yeah, Mr. Monday Night, Mr. WrestleMania.
Mr.
You know, it's
WrestleMania.
it's crazy. So with that, David, do you think he took a risk coming back?
Sure,
Like obviously you always take a risk, but
like I thought he retired. Like, come on, you're a Hall of Famer. You know, it's like, really? You have that extra boost in you to do it one more time, or two more times, or three more times,
and with no hair.
Yeah.
Oh man, and I tell you, that's what I'm saying. It's like, you know, he was always so adamant about not doing another match, not bringing back the Shawn Michaels character, not doing all that, and he was so adamant because he didn't want to tarnish the legacy of Shawn Michaels. But Everett, you know just as well as I do, it always ends up being a matter of time. What do you think ended up being the deciding factor for him?
I believe that Vince and they basically seen that the talent was not
money, buddy.
Money, that could be one thing, and for the fact that they realized that they were slipping in the ratings and they were slipping on a lot of things. And what's one way to get ratings back up? Bring back the veterans, man. How many times have the ratings jumped, and I hate to say this, when John Cena come back on Raw or SmackDown?
Bring back Corporal Kirshner, come on.
Yeah. And
Brooklyn Brawler.
Brooklyn Brawler. Brooklyn in the house.
Back to it.
But yeah, man.
They've had those Rumbles though. They've brought the old
They just with having you know, the vets coming back and the vets showing and outshining. Okay, that's what made this pay-per-view great, Chris.
My catheter bag. Hold on.
That's what made this pay-per-view great, Chris, was for the fact of the matter is that the veterans came back because there was already so much controversy around it. Because, you know, with that guy, that news journal guy, you know what happened to him, man. It was something. It sounded something like this, you know, right here.
Well, it's not Christmas Carnage without somebody getting hacked up with a chainsaw.
No, it isn't. Yeah.
That's basically what happened to the guy. I mean,
But you know what? Speaking of lunatics, though, we did see the return of a one Dean Ambrose.
Yes. Shout out to Dean Ambrose.
Yes.
Did you see the documentary they put out? Chris?
Yeah, did you see that, Chris?
No, I have not. Tell us about it, David.
Chris, go ahead, Everett. You want to I'll elaborate on this one. Go
What
ahead.
are we doing? Playing hot potato here?
Yeah. Go ahead, Everett. Tell him about it. No, it was really good. Go ahead. Go ahead, Everett. Put you on the spot. Go ahead.
Put me on the spot. You always put me on the spot. This ain't ELS Uncut or Everett Lee Show, man. What the hell? Put me on the spot.
No, this is Christmas Carnage, brought to you by
right.
the Podcast City Network.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, but you know, me and Everett.
Check us out at podcastcity.net.
Yes. Now,
Go ahead.
okay, I'll go, and then you take the hot potato back. I'm gonna pass it back to you here. Okay. The thing with Dean Ambrose Chronicles, it was really great. I loved it. I loved how they followed him around and given it like a backstage look, and I loved how it was kayfabe. I loved that, how they did that with him. And you get to see what went in his mind after he turned heel and just everything. It was just fantastic. Here you go,
Yeah.
David.
And now take it over to the indie scene. No, actually, Actually, Chris, I actually had one of the guys on my podcast that was a part of that. He got a 15-minute part on a mat. Remember that, Everett?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. The guest you had on. Which name I'm forgetting right now, but I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about. I forget the name of your guest. Yeah.
Gary something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gary something. Yeah. I remember him.
Well, you know what? There is one big thing that did happen this year, though, that was really sad and kind of monumental, and obviously still having its ways that it's affecting, and that is Roman Reigns announcing that his leukemia had returned and that he was forced to relinquish the WWE Universal title to go and seek treatment for his leukemia. Definitely a sad moment. What are your thoughts on that, Everett?
Yeah, Roman Reigns, here's a guy they've been trying to push for the last 4 or 5 years. They're trying to push him down everyone's throat. Vince chose him to be the next John Cena. And I hate to use that term, but I hate to use it loosely there. They tried so many scenarios. They tried so many times.
Sorry.
Vince even got involved back on TV.
Sorry.
Oh, we did that earlier. I was doing that with him.
But yeah, even Vince had to come back on TV, and they tried to pull an old Steve Austin angle to get Roman over, which didn't work.
What?
The Rock trying to get him over did not work. And what they did this year, which was mentioned before, was the Shield. Okay, the formation of the Shield. They actually should have not done that, because how many times have they broke up the Shield, then tried to bring them back, and it failed last year because of the sickness and injuries. You know, you having fun there? The guy having fun, but I do have a point here. Okay, the point is that they brought the Shield back because that way no one boos the Shield, because the Shield, everyone loves the Shield. They used that in the last effort to get Roman over, but however that was played out short because of Roman Reigns' leukemia. And now what I love about this is that the guy is going to beat it. When he does beat it, and when he does come back to WWE, he will be over with the fans, because he basically kicked cancer's ass. And I did not like the fact that someone messaged me that night. It was like, hey, you hear about Roman Reigns? I'm like, yeah, heard about Roman Reigns. Do you think it's a work? Why the hell would it be a work? You and me talked about this, Chris. Okay, why would it be a work for the fact that all the charity they do for Make-A-Wish and all the stuff they do for the Susan breast cancer month for October?
Yeah.
Okay, all that stuff.
Susan G. Komen.
Yes. Why would they jeopardize all that to say he was sick? And in the fact that
I can answer that question.
Yeah, someone brought up
The answer to that question is this is coming from the same company who thought it was a good idea to have Triple H have sex with a mannequin pretending it was someone's dead girlfriend. This is the same company that chopped off Val Venus's penis with a samurai sword while being strung up in a locker room. This is the same company that thought Sable coming out with hand titty covers was going to be a good idea. This is the same company that had Kelly's expose on ECW in the mid-2000s. I can see this company doing anything. Hell, they faked Vince McMahon's death.
Yeah, they did.
And only canceled his death, funny to say, that after the tragic incidents that happened with Chris Benoit and Benoit family. So I put nothing past WWE. Nothing. But I still don't feel that it's, with it being leukemia, that it's to a point that they would cross that line.
Right.
Because they've never done anything when it comes to having sickness, other than Jillian Hall and her little growth on her face, which was eaten by the boogeyman. But, that aside.
Forgot about that, but that was great.
That's right. Chris Carnage steel
Oh,
trap
God.
still works good.
Oh my God. Oh, Everett, can you pull that up?
What?
Pull it up.
Pull that
Find a
up.
picture of that?
I would have to look for it, man. It'd take me a while to do it, but
But
yeah.
while you're doing that, it's just still it's something that WWE I think would do, but with it being a sickness to that level, I don't think it's something they would do, especially now in the PG era of WWE, that they don't want to not only piss off fans, but most of their fans are of a younger age now, so they don't want to piss off those fans' parents.
Exactly.
They're going to turn around and be like, "What is this smut that you're watching? Turn it off." So, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think it's something that is a work at this point. You know, I do feel really bad for him, and it has been notated multiple times that he did have this before and has had something with it for about 11 years, I believe, or so. So, you know, with that, you know, I think this is something that's legit. But the downside, I call it a downside, because when he returns, he's going to be on the level of John Cena. He's going to be looked at like a John Cena, like a hero that beat like a hero that beat leukemia and came back for the fans and all that, and that is what's going to get him over.
Yeah.
And people are going to love him for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what's crazy. It's like automatic vindication. But you know what? I bet you Vince is still sitting there in his office thinking, you know, it really sucks that this happened to Roman Reigns, but I'm going to make a bunch of money off this. Watch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Walk down
Don't
the
you think? Don't you think that, Paul? Yeah. I definitely think that's gonna happen. So you know, it's
coming down to the ring. Hold on. Coming
Exactly.
down the ring.
Exactly. Now, I did find it.
No.
Let me screenshot
snap.
this. I mean, well, actually, I probably, because if we upload this to YouTube later, I'll probably get in trouble.
Oh yeah. Forget about it.
How about could I play? You think I could get away with playing it by just showing the clip but no sound? What do you think, Chris?
maybe you might.
All right. Well, you know what? Let me just play I can play the sound clip without actually you can hear it. I mean, see it. So here I go. All right.
No.
There he is.
No. Get away from him. Is he nuts? He's smelling it. Jillian's scared to death. Oh, no. Oh, don't do that. You got to no. Oh, my God. I'm going to upchuck. That's disgusting.
He licked it.
I'm gonna
What's wrong with this
upchuck.
guy? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Look at that taste like.
Oh man. Yo, oh, he's biting it. He's biting it now. He's biting it. Oh God. You can tell it's freaking fake. You could still.
Of course you can. This is the
Yeah.
fakest looking thing in the world when they had that whole angle going on.
Why the hell would they put something like that on her anyway? Why?
Because WWE.
Because they're just so stupid. You know that. Come on.
Yeah. Well, you know what?
Because Nickelodeon writers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just stupid.
Wow.
How they put that on there. That.
But, you know, again, it's just another way for them to force an angle because they had a character that would do gross things. They had a character with a growth on her face.
It's always just something. It's just
Yeah.
angle.
Always something.
Yeah.
Always something. But to end our WWE 2018 in review, the last thing I'm going to bring up will be the fact that the McMahons and Triple H have taken back over WWE in the past couple of weeks in another, what is starting to look like failed attempt to shake things up. So where does this really go? I had some high hopes and maybe, you know, trying to see what would happen, but I'm not seeing anything
money.
new.
That's all I want to do, Chris.
I just need money. We're signing a new TV deal, and we have SmackDown going to Fox, so let's make things happen.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous to me.
Really is.
Everett, where do you think they're really trying to go with this? Are they just doing this to try and save the brands, or do they really have something in the works here?
It has to do with the Fox deal, man. I tell you, it's going to have to do with the Fox deal because if they're trying to bring the ratings up because apparently a few weeks ago or not that long ago, I could be wrong about this, that Fox executives were backstage at SmackDown or Raw, and they were looking at this, and they said that they could see the fans' reaction, they could see everything going on, and they're like, we paid $1 billion something for this shit. One person actually said, and they want to change things. They want to get rid of damn, what the hell is his name? That's on SmackDown, the one announcer. Shit, I can't fucking believe I'm
the one that nobody knows.
Tom Phillips. They're wanting to get Tom Phillips and replace him with Fox's one of Fox's announcers that calls football. They want to put him on.
You see this
yeah.
Could see it
they're wanting Ronda Rousey on SmackDown. They're wanting big name people that's on Raw to come to SmackDown because SmackDown's going to be on Friday night on Fox. So that's the whole fucking deal with that right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just ridiculous, though, in my eyes.
Switch stations. Come on. Just keep it to the one station. Keep it on your network. Whatever they does, they charge you extra. Come on, really? Seriously.
Well, nobody told Impact that news because they just yet again switched stations, so, you know.
Yeah, I know.
But let's talk about something a little more local.
Speaking of Twitch, you were just mentioning TNA. Me and Everett watched something really good this past week on TNA. Actually, they were down in Dayton, Ohio for Rockstar Pro, and my God, that was a crazy card. Everett, you checked it out too.
Yeah,
it was pretty. Yeah. We had Robin. Robin was actually there in attendance. Shout out to Robin Nelson of Wrestle Podcast.
Yeah,
he was in attendance.
Yeah, Chris, you got to check it out. It's on Twitch right now. I suggest that you watch it before it goes away because Ohio versus everything was fucking great.
Yeah,
it was. It was a great
pay-per-view. Definitely have to check that out and see how that went.
And
I heard a lot of good things about that show.
Mm-hmm.
I seen Robin about 3 times in the crowd. And one point I seen him stand up. And it was funny. I wanted to tell Robin. I was like, yeah, I seen you I did mention him, actually. I seen him 3 times in the crowd. And I was going to say that one time he stood up, all I could see was like the light reflect off his glasses. Kind of remind me of Elijah Wood from Sin City sitting there on the porch. I was like, there's Robin.
Oh, definitely. But you know what? All this is a good way to shift gears into our next yearly review, and that's indie wrestling, which I'm going to kick off with something that happened this year that got a lot of notoriety, and that was Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea, which ended up being a huge hit. Huge hit.
Can I step away for 5 minutes?
You do what you need to, sir.
Yes.
Look at that beautiful chair. He's now the Invisible Man. But either way, though, the Chris Jericho Rock and Wrestling Rager at Sea was such a huge success with the support of a lot of the big-name indie wrestlers, as we have William Shakespeare over here on David C. Russell's camera trying to show off this crazy skull and then recite poetry. But at the end of the day, we ended up having this really great show with great bands, podcast, all these great wrestlers, and they're the first time ever had a full wrestling show on an actual cruise ship. Like, this is monumental stuff. What are your thoughts on that, Everett?
Yeah, I definitely would have to say that. Yeah, Chris Jericho's Rock and Rager, that was just freaking fantastic, man, because you had some really, really good bands that was on there. You had freaking shit. You had wrestling, you had podcast, you had ROH on there, and Ring of Honor, and on a cruise ship wrestling. And it was neat how they did this, because how they set the ring up on a cruise ship, because, you know, a cruise ship, it goes back and forth there and it rocks and stuff. It's like, well, how do you stabilize a ring that will not, you know, do that? And they figured it out. Chris Jericho did figure it out. And I loved how he had the live podcast on there, the entertainment. There was more to do on that cruise than just watch wrestling. You had comedy, you had music, you had podcast, and that was just freaking great. And you had people on there you wouldn't expect to see on there. You had Jim Ross, you had Jerry the King Lawler, you had
I'm looking at the whole lineup right here. You had all kinds of crazy people like Raven, Rey Mysterio, Pat Patterson, even Ricky the Dragon Steamboat was there, Diamond Dallas Page, Johnny Impact, Brian Cage, LAX. You're talking about Mick Foley, Jim Ross, good old JR, Jay Lethal, Matt Taven, Christopher Daniels, Kazarian was there. You ended up having SoCal Val and Noel Foley. So many great people. Even James Ellsworth somehow found himself onto the ship. And then you had a lot of great musical lineups like Corey Taylor of Slipknot.
Yes.
And Stone Sour. You had, obviously, Fozzy because Chris Jericho was there.
Oh, yeah.
You ended up with the Stir, King, Cherry Bombs, Blizzard of Ozzy, Shoot to Thrill, Papa Buck. You had great comedy acts like Brad Williams and Craig Gass. Sal and Q's What Say You podcast was there. There was just such a huge lineup. Keeping It 100 podcast was there. Busted Open Radio. Just so many people. Impact Wrestling and ROH were both there in an official capacity. And oh yeah, let's not forget freaking Kenny Omega.
I know.
So it's just so much going on. Just so much going on.
Yeah.
And it was an amazing time had by all this past October. But the biggest part about it is that it was so successful that I caught tidbits that they are going to do another one.
Yes, they are. Yeah. They're definitely going to be doing another one, and I want to give a quick shout out to Carrie and Sheldon. What's up? Watching this stream right now. Yeah, they're definitely going to do another one for 2018 and 2019, excuse me. And that's one thing that I talked about and discussed with you, and I discussed with my wife. That's one thing. Yeah. 2019, we're definitely going to go out and see. We're going to rock it out. We're going to be like, yeah.
See some wrestling, see some bands, maybe some Podcast City Network stuff.
Exactly.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who
definitely
but you
does
know what?
know.
On the indie scene this year, though, there's a lot of crazy things that happened. We saw New Japan really grow. We saw ROH still coming and doing what it does. But there's something I want to touch on that I think you talked about very recently, and that is the fact that All Elite Wrestling will be making its debut soon. And I found out a tidbit that the Elite, Cody Rhodes, and their business partner have already put in the copyright and trademarks for All Elite Wrestling.
They did.
It is now official. AEW.
AEW. It's
going to
coming.
be amazing.
It is coming, and like it or not, well, actually, people's going to love this for the fact that, All Elite Wrestling is coming, and when we find out what network, where they're going to have it at, and all that good stuff, of course, a lot of people is going to have their eyes on it because of who's involved with it and who's backing it, especially who's backing it, man. You had the owner of the Jacksonville Jaguars backing this promotion that this guy is not a millionaire. He don't have millions. He has billions. And, of course, he's backing this promotion, man, because Cody and the Young Bucks approached him, and they probably laid out a really good business deal, and he's like, you know what do I got to lose? Fuck it. Wrestling's hot right now.
Did I just hear Cody?
Yeah, you heard Cody. Yeah, I heard David sit down because when he sat down, he went.
That's probably what he went to go do.
Yep.
Check it out, man.
Damn. Did you flush?
But it still does really great stuff. It still was a really, really exciting year for indie wrestling.
Yes.
Especially when you had like the All In pay-per-view and stuff like that. It's really good stuff. But
All In, All In was really awesome. Like I got to watch a lot of it on my end.
Oh yeah. And I definitely got to watch a little bit of it too. It was really exciting. But we do have a certain person that does like to make a lot of trips to some of these great indie promotions that we have around this great country. And what does he go by? Oh, David C. Russell. This guy right here.
By the way, I missed Cage of Death this year. Oh my God! Shout out to the winner of the Cage of Death, the CZW, Vance Warner. Man, he took it to Ricky Shea Page inside the CZW's Cage of Death, my friend. He was there, and also Onita came back for the night. Onita was there again.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yes, Onita, and he tagged with actually he tagged up with the Bulldozer, Matt Tremont, and versus Masada versus the owner of CZW, DJ Hyde. in a street fight.
Nice, very nice.
But shout out to the Bulldozer, as he always doing good things for H2O Wrestling. That's right, H2O Wrestling. They just had their event last night. Big shout out to the winner and the new H2O champion, Alex Colon.
Yes.
He defeated Ron Mathis inside the wooden structure barbed wire steel cage. It was classic.
Very nice. Very nice.
And also shout out to On Point Wrestling. They had a really good turnout for their shout out to Pele Primo for winning the trophy this year. He deserved it. Well deserved. And also shout out to Battle on the Border. Battle on the Border had their events. 2 events this past month, and they killed it. And it was awesome.
Very nice. You can't go wrong with that. And they put on a great show every time they have one. It's good stuff. Always entertaining.
I know. It's somebody we need to look into connecting to the network.
I think we have a guy with some ideas over here.
Yeah, we do. That's one thing.
A lot of marketing.
David has a lot of ideas and stuff, and he gets really excited, and he tells me, and I know he tells you, he tells both of us. You know, it's like, I got an idea for Podcasting Network. We could do this and do that. You know, and it's like, okay, all right.
God love him.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
That's what you got us for. Come on. That's
right.
You need some little
That's right.
Exactly.
So on that note, what else do you have for indie wrestling for year in review, David?
Year in review?
Yes.
Just everything. Everything was good. That's it. How's that? Sweet and simple.
Sweet and simple as always. What about you, Everett?
There's one more thing that you're forgetting, David, about what happened in 2018 with indie wrestling. The little you went live at an event that you were at and that I helped you set up. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, remember that?
Yeah, right in my hometown.
Did you see that, Chris?
It was,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was great. I played it the other night on ELS Uncut, and I love the fact that I played my favorite part was when David was walking around talking to everybody and stuff. And I want to give a shout out to everyone that was in that video and at the event there for Jersey Premier Wrestling. That basically a couple people were like, "Hey, we seen your work. We love you," and I was like, "Thank you." And then I love David. They had a band playing sitting there, you know, just head banging out. David freaking walks up to the drummer. Drummer's like, you know, freaking great. Live on Facebook, and then it goes over to
Sandman. I told, and I think I said it on the mic. Sandman didn't want to do a podcast that night.
No, he didn't. He don't do it. He don't do fucking podcasts, man. You know, that just blowed my shit right there. I was like, damn, man. But
that would have been fun. I know that would have been a great.
It would have been great. It would have been great though. But
I'll get some good ones this summer. Mm-hmm. This 2019 is going to be a kick-ass year for finding some guests and going to reach out and grab some new talent and
grab some brass rings, as you would say.
Yes. Grab that.
Yes.
But man, it's been a really great year. A lot of great wrestling.
But also fast forward to 2019, man. There's so much wrestling that's happening. Actually, in Jersey for WrestleMania weekend, April.
Yeah.
April. I was telling Everett, this is like a solid week of wrestling. They got Canada wrestling coming. They got a couple promotions from like IWA, AIW is coming, and just like some top local promotions are going to be coming for. WrestleMania to show their talent, and Blackcraft Wrestling. That's when I want to shout that out because that's what my friend Dylan is part of that team, and I'm gonna have to dig out and go to that, just to say I was there. It's, Game Changer Wrestling doing big things.
Definitely.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. GCW's like I say, Everett, they're top on the scene. You know that. You've seen it everywhere. Joey Janela, shout out to him. He's still recovering from his knee blown out. And he's been out for quite a while, but he's determined to come back.
He is. He is. He's determined to come back. And someone who had an interesting year this year was Sean Phoenix. Phoenix, man. He went viral. You see that? I mean, Chris had him on last night on his podcast, and it was really good, and I enjoyed a lot of that. David and I were talking about that today.
He was actually supposed to be at that show.
Yeah.
He was actually supposed to
Yes,
be.
he was. Yes, he was.
He was supposed to be at that show that I was at.
Yeah.
In the live commentary.
Yeah.
And they just,
Yeah, that happened and stuff. And what with you talking to, I want to ask you, Chris, with you talking about Sean Phoenix last night and stuff, how did you feel that went, talking with him and interviewing him since he's going viral?
I tell you what, having him on the Chris Carnage Show was a great pleasure. He was such an amazing guest, and we had a really good talk about a lot of stuff that had been going on with his injury, with his career, and, with the viral nature of what had happened and a lot of the attention he had gotten. Honestly, there's a lot to it that really bothered me, though, when it came to comments made by people like Vampiro, Vince Russo, Jim Cornette, stuff like that are really bashing him. And here's my take on this whole thing is that at the end of the day, you have all these big name people who've been involved in the industry who see one little snippet, one little move, one little high spot that goes wrong, and they start throwing these wrestlers under the bus, calling them untrained, calling them smarks, all this stuff. And it's like, how are you going to judge someone's entire wrestling ability and career on the fact of one failed high spot? How many failed high spots have we seen in WWE? Really, how many?
It happens.
It happens all the time, and that's how you end up with huge injuries. You end up, even the smallest of things you can get injured on.
I'll tell you what, Chris. I'll bring you to this. The Joey Janela. I have the clip. I'll have to show you that clip. I have a clip personally I'm going to send you this week of Joey versus Psychosis in a match.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how he dived out on the outside of the ring. Right to his knee. Like, you'd be like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's what I'm saying. Anything can happen at any time. And you look at even WWE and the crazy things that have happened, like a simple thing like Triple H going up and over with Randy Orton, throwing him over the top rope. He falls all the way down, boom, broke his collarbone during a title match.
Mm-hmm.
Who thought that was going to happen? Hardcore Holly going through a table and slicing open his back. That wasn't planned. Mick Foley going through the top of a cell and falling.
I've actually seen the Briscoe brothers at a Jersey All Pro live Jersey All Pro event in Atlantic City when he did a table spot and sliced his back open. It was insane.
Yeah. Or even
like,
if you want to go back to Armageddon 2000 when you have Undertaker chokeslamming Rikishi off the top of the cell into the back of a flatbed with nothing but hay, he herniates 2 discs, slips another, and you're going to say that's okay though?
Yeah.
So Amanda the 450 to the outside through a table, slightly overshoots and eats concrete.
Yeah.
He's lucky to be alive, and all they can think about is how trash of a wrestler he is. And I think that's garbage. I've seen the man wrestle for over 10 years.
Yeah.
I knew him years before he even got professionally trained, and that man was nothing but talent.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had the pleasure to know him a really long time and call him my friend. But I was worried for him. I was seriously worried for him.
And we got the word that he's determined to come back and show a lot of what he's got. He's ready.
Absolutely, and I know he's going to make that comeback. It's going to be a matter of time, but he'll make that comeback. But I feel like it's kind of ridiculous that you have all these supposed experts in the industry that want to come out and blast him for the same crap that they pull in WWE.
Absolutely.
That's what I find ridiculous in all of it.
Yeah.
But end rant.
Yeah.
In rant.
Craziness. We'll call that the end of Wrestling 2018 in review.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, I tell you what. But we are having a great time here. This is a great holiday special we're having. Christmas Carnage,
Yep.
So it's good stuff, but there's something else that took place during the year 2018 that we need to touch on, and that was the amazingness known as the Podcast City Network.
Oh,
we have gone through almost our first entire year. Yeah, there it is, David. Our first entire year as a network, and man, have we had some fun and awesome things happen.
We're blessed.
Very blessed. Absolutely, we are blessed.
Where would I be, right? Where would I be?
Probably at a wrestling show somewhere right now. But either way, though, we had a lot of great things. We started out with nothing but 4 or 5 shows. Mm-hmm. We had really only one sponsor in City Limits, and we went from nothing and made it into something. Because if you recall, Everett, when we were sitting there, probably about this time last year, we were sitting there thinking, we're sick of being denied. We're sick of being told that we can't. We're sick of being told that we're not big enough. We're sick of being told that there's no way. And we went out there and we blazed a trail and made it happen.
And
now we have the Podcast City Network.
Come on, you took
We
it
did.
to a bar every
We did.
time and did, tap room. You
We-
brought it to the tap room many times.
Chris and I
show people like the side. Yeah.
Chris and I basically took the idea that we talked about it because I tried to get on networks for the last four or 5 years. I've been podcasting since 2014. I had 3 shows changes, and then finally when I settled on the Everett Lee Show, that was it for me. That was going to be my mark. And with that, I tried to join on other networks. No, you don't have numbers. No, you're not big enough. No, you can't. You don't have this. You don't have that. You can't. No, sorry, you're not big enough. Just on and on and on. And it just fucking burnt me. I was so pissed. I told you plenty of times, Chris. I said this is bullshit. This is fucking bullshit.
Preach
for
it.
the fact that I put in blood, sweat, and tears in this, and I basically want to expand myself and join something and make a name and get myself out there that people say, yeah, I listen to him, man. He puts some good content out there as a content provider. However, I joined one network that had so many restrictions. I said, fuck you, and I left. And I told Chris, I said, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. Let's start our own network and bring in people who cannot, that's been told no or has never had a shot of anything, and have a platform so they can actually speak on. And that's what we provided within this whole year of 2018. We've launched a network with some great variety of shows. And one thing about our network is there's no show that is the same. I mean, especially with the Everett Lee Show, going back to my roots after episode 100, actually making 100 episodes. And I was doing the math the other day. If I still kept my old name of Everett's Hangout, you know how many episodes I'd be at right now? 200, over almost 300 episodes. But you know what? I'm glad I restarted. Damn. Yeah. I think I need that right there. Or actually, not that one. There we go. Damn. There we go. But yeah, I just with after 100, going back to my roots for the Everett Lee Show, doing interviews, which I love doing. And Robin Nilsson Russell Podcast expired that because I seen how good he does and how much fun interviews were. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to my roots and go directly straight to that. ELS Uncut, I love doing it, David, because we cut up and we do some crazy shenanigans. I just fucking love it. And then you get the Super Radio Brothers who talk about all comic, geek, you call it pop culture related. Imaginarium, they talk about
sci-fi
anything.
Gaming.
Yeah, sci-fi gaming. Imaginarium talks about just anything. And they do pull some pop culture in. They do talk about like indie like movies and just indie artists, which is fucking great. And I love listening to them. And I love listening to all our shows. We got second rounds, New York and Florida are just fucking great. Phoenix Gate, yeah, we got the Phoenix Gate podcast. She's starting to make waves, and she's starting to get up there with stuff. And I mean, I'm glad and happy about the shows that we have because they're pulling their weight and they're making a name for themselves, and they're using us as a platform to do that. And I love promoting them. I love putting them out there. I'm like, dude,
definitely.
You got to check this out. It's like this, Chris.
I'm the only company that probably has it on it.
And then we got Deathmatch Russell Podcast.
I'm glad I have that logo. It's worth it.
Yeah, let me say on indie wrestling, Robin Nelson Wrestle Podcast, talking with indie wrestlers. Same thing with David Russell right here, David C. Russell, Deathmatch Russell Podcast, representing, man. It's just fucking great. And then Robin Nelson doing the Paranormal Files, and Chris Carnage doing his thing.
Damn right, Chris. This is great.
He came back.
He made it happen.
I loved it because last night when I talked to Chris after I got done talking to Sean, he's like, so how was it? I'm like, it's fucking great. It's like you didn't even skip a beat. It's like you may missed a couple things here and there, but you know what? I'm not gonna ask you for that because at least you put fucking content out.
You did.
You know,
Got him.
you know, at least you know,
Got
it's,
them numbers.
you know, you're jumping back in the game. At least you let me know why you're not
Because don't
being
forget,
able to do this. You let me know why.
Don't forget. Hey, you forgot to mention one podcast. Sports.
Final score.
Sports.
Good
Final
old
score.
final
Sports.
score.
Sports.
Which definitely will be making its return here soon.
Yeah.
It's gone on a little hiatus because my co-anchor is currently coaching girls basketball, so it's been a little hard to tear him away from the hardwood. But you know, more episodes of Final Score definitely will be coming out going into this new year. But God, it's just been such a crazy year with so many shows, so many things that have happened, and now we've grown to.
Can I say one thing?
But wait, there's more.
There is more because we're going to be coming. Well, actually, I'm going to be actually taking a trip pretty soon in January.
Yeah, you are.
Oh snap! But we're gonna save that for the preview side of this.
All
Yes.
right.
But still, looking back though, there was another thing that we did: draft day.
Draft
Yeah,
day.
draft
Oh
day.
man,
You guys always have fun with that.
Yeah, we do.
You guys-
always have fun with
Draft
that.
day was good.
Taste testing beer and hanging out. We did it, I think, a lot of times with Super Radio Brothers. They were
Yeah.
always fantastic guests,
I-
especially when you're rich and he get too many in them.
God, Rich. I love Rich, man, but God, man. I tell you, David, Rich, this guy can fucking drink, man, and it's just like, wow. He freaking
Yeah.
I love him,
The
man.
Carnage can put him away, and he makes me look bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Rich.
Well,
Rich is a
see
good
me
guy.
go. Uh-oh. We
Oh,
see
God.
Deathmatch
Yeah.
Russell come out of the world.
But
Long
you
as
gotta be
you don't-
careful with Everett though, because Everett has a few eggnogs and he forgets what number he's on. So you know.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's right. J Dubs Stout, Milk Stout. It's fucking great. I love it.
Oh, that's a good
City
one.
Limits.
See,
That's
I
my
always
drink.
was particular about the apple pie cider. Oh,
Dude,
tastes
Yeah.
so good.
they got so many good drinks there, man. It's freaking making me hungry for the grilled cheese.
Was it awesome?
Yeah, it was. I actually did eat it. Okay, I advertise it and talk about it on the Everett Lee Show. And
He
you
does
know,
all the
cut.
time.
Yeah.
24/7.
I did actually have it, and
Yep.
Chris is my witness. I sat right there in
I was
front of
about
him,
to
and
say.
I
Nice
fucking
melted cheese. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
it was. I fucking
have
devoured
one
that
tomorrow.
grilled cheese.
Ah,
That
Yeah,
grilled
made
cheese,
nice and fresh by the Richard Tillinghast and Ryan Anderson, who are down there, who helped create that menu for them. And I tell you what, City Limits has come a long way since we
Yes.
were doing Draft Tuesday way back in the day.
God dang,
Tuesday.
Trap Tuesday. I remember that. Yeah.
Who drinks on a Tuesday?
I know.
Yeah.
We do.
Yes.
Oh man, but you know, 2018 was a really great year, and we made a lot of great strides. And now we have partnerships with Kentucky's Own Wrestling and Atlantic Sound Records, and all kinds of great things that are going on. And we're doing nothing but going up. And that's the best part about it is that we're.
man.
Oh yeah, moving on up, and that's all we're gonna keep doing because you know
Strive to survive.
we have passion, we have
Drive to
the
survive.
drive.
Yes.
Exactly, the drive to survive, and
Yeah,
it's
we
really
do.
good stuff. But man, I tell you what, it's been a monumental year, and you know we even created some cool bits. Like, don't we have a Podcast City Network commercial?
Yes, we do. And you know what? I'm your guy because basically I have that right here. So let's go ahead and play that right here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me go ahead and pull this up and we will play it right here.
Hey fans, here at Podcast City Network, we have a lot of great shows on all of our great social media outlets. PodcastCity.net.
Facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit that thumbs up. You can send a tweet to Podcast City Network on Twitter at Podcast City Net.
Only on Podcast City Network.
That's right. That is right, man. Podcast City Network. You can
That's
find
what I'm
the
saying.
great-
So many good things going on. So much going on for the network. And, man, I tell you what, I'm feeling it. Feeling the energy. I don't know if it's this holiday spirit or what it
Can you
is.
believe tomorrow's Christmas Eve?
I know.
I can't believe that
I know.
tomorrow's Christmas Eve, you know. But you know what? Let's set the stage a little then. You know what? We need to do another top 5.
Yes, we
And
do.
you know what we need to do? we're going to make it our last top 5 of the evening, so let's make it top 5 presents. Oh, man. Top 5 presents that you have personally received. David, we're going to start with you.
Oh, this year or when?
Ever.
Ever.
Yes.
Oh, gosh. Boy. What did I get? I think I got tickets to SummerSlam one year.
I need to step
you can't go
away
wrong with
just
that.
for a minute. I got to let my dog out, so I'll be right back.
Who let the dogs out?
Ho, 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 ho. It was Everett. All right,
Okay, well, it's now Chris Carnage and Deathmatch Russell hour. Oh, great.
Oh, you know it. This has been exciting. We've been waiting for this for a while.
Wow. All right. But yeah, so tickets to SummerSlam, I believe it was. I can't remember.
Oh, man.
That's cool.
You can't go wrong with that. I remember I got tickets to SmackDown one year.
Did you?
Loved it. Oh, yeah. It was to the last SmackDown of the year. The year was 2001. Oh, it was so great. Listen to this main event. Main event was a triple threat match. It was Booker T and Big Boss Man versus Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh man.
Yeah, you want to talk about a great show? That
think
was
my
a great
SummerSlam
show.
had the holy shit, if I remember, but it was at a house show, not a house show, but it's actually no, I saw it. Was it laryngitis inside a steel cage?
Wow.
Johnny laryngitis in a cage match. I forget. There's so many, but I saw Stone Cold pay-per-views. This is crazy. I got footage of me somewhere on the internet in the crowd.
It's so funny when you start going back and looking at the footage. I went back and looked at that SmackDown, and there was another match during that show.
Yeah.
It was during Undertaker's biker gimmick. When he had just come back as a biker. He was hardcore champion.
Yeah.
And he wrestled a match with Tajiri for the hardcore title, and I come up, little young in me, and snapping pictures of Undertaker versus Tajiri, and of course I got on camera. So it was a pretty cool time to be able to go back and find that.
Going to ECW for the ECW One Night Stand 2, New York City.
Oh yeah,
sixth row behind Michael Cole or no, Joey Styles and Jared the King.
Nice.
He got punched out. Jerry King got punched out by Randy, one of the wrestlers, Taz or something, slapped him.
Yeah, I think it was Taz. I'm not mistaken, or maybe even no. Yeah, I think it was Taz.
Yeah.
Now look back, because all I can remember though from that show is one. I think it was JBL totally killing the Blue Meanie, but things happen.
I also have I think I've said this millions of times. I remember as a kid going to New York City when they had that restaurant, Sunday Night Heat. I actually have.
Oh yeah, where they had WWE The World and WWF New York.
Yeah, I'm sure you've seen the one picture I have. I actually have a picture, and I had the video reformatted to DVD. I should bring that up with me, dude. That'd be something to watch. You'd be like, "Holy shit!"
Do it.
But because
it. So
I didn't know they were taping. My sisters, they told me go up there. They were doing. So I was doing like woo Ric Flair chants with Taz the whole night. It was great.
Oh, you can't go wrong with that. Now, to continue down our top 5 list, what would be your next present?
Our next present has to be a microphone. Hey, I need one.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. I have to say one of my top presents is actually this Philadelphia Eagles jersey. Carson Wentz. Authentic, nice, gorgeous.
Nice.
And I got to wear it when the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Loved every moment. As I was actually watching that at City Limits Tap Room.
Yes.
We went live that night, cut a commercial, all kinds of great stuff. And you know what? It was a really great time. But I see that Everett Lee has returned to us and is joining us back. And we're 2 presents in, Mr. Naughty Nice. And what was that last one? I tried what?
Eggnog.
What? So at the end of the day, though, you got to catch up, Mr. Everett. We're 2 presents in.
Yeah.
You got to list 2 presents now.
All right. The 2 presents I have to say.
He's buying us presents. Just remember that, Chris.
Well, I have to say my 2 favorite presents that I've gotten would have to be when I was a kid, my first Nintendo Entertainment System from my brother, who got me that.
Very nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Now, another present.
That was great. And another present would be Castle Grayskull when I was 5 years old. Mm-hmm.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. He came in with some good ones, some good swingers. My number 3 top present would have to be back when I was in 2nd grade, I got a Super Nintendo with Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past, which ended up launching my gaming career. And
Nice.
I spent so many nights playing that game to death. I literally have beaten it so many times it's not funny. I still have the Super Nintendo hidden somewhere in the studio that I still play from time to time. Still works perfectly fine. Love that thing to death. But yeah, it definitely would have to be my number 3. What about you, David?
Oh man, digging through my stuff to get that first Nintendo system. Yeah, I'm gonna say, you know what? When I got pro wrestling, the first wrestling game, that was terrible.
Nice.
That's nice.
We're all excited that came out. To launch our where we would be out wrestling. We have to play some wrestling,
most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
With your friends, and just challenge them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that was one thing. I always beat the crap out of all my friends in wrestling games. I always happened to get a 1-up. I think even Everett Lee knows something about this because one of the first times I came over and was starting to do some shows with him, we sat down and played a little game. Do you recall that game, Everett?
Yeah, WWE 2K16, man. That was fun. That was fun. Wow. I enjoyed that. I definitely did.
And who won?
You did. We did Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker, and we did that, and we did something else. I forget which.
I think Elimination Chamber.
Yeah, Elimination Chamber. No, Steel Cage. We did. No, we did.
Oh yeah, Steel Cage.
We did Hell in a Cell. We did Hell in a Cell.
Oh yeah, even bigger.
Yes.
Yeah, Hell in a Cell. That's what we did.
Tell you what.
Put out tables, ladders, and chairs, and it was just fucking great. Or actually, chairs and tables and all that good shit. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
But your number 3. What would be your number 3 there, Everett?
My number 3 would have to be. Do you remember the Huffy bicycles back in the day?
Oh man.
All too well. All too well.
Do you remember they came out with the Sonic 5, the 5-speed, where the commercial is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I don't know if I can find that. I'll try to pull that up there while we go around. When it comes back to me, I should have it up by then just to mention it. But yeah, that Huffy bike, it was so fucking great. I made a mistake because you know how it only had hand brakes and there was no brakes on the pedals. I sat there and I would pedal backwards just for the hell of it and stuff and everything. And after a while, when I would switch gears, the chain kept popping off. And finally, my dad modified the chain and took the gear shift off and basically made it into a regular bike. And he set the chain on one link, and that was the end of that.
That was all she wrote.
Yep.
Well, while you look up that sound bit, though, my number 4 would actually be this Philadelphia Eagles holiday beanie. I love it so much just because of the fact that this was the current one for last season.
Yes.
So I got it at Christmas time going into playoffs last season as the current beanie for the Eagles and wore this along with my Carson Wentz jersey as the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Very nice.
Yes, most definitely. So, David, you're number 4.
Number 4 would have to be a skateboard. Growing up, man,
Nice.
I had a skateboard, and that's what I wanted, and I got it. I skated all the time. I loved it. Build half pipes. My friends would build half pipes. Pop a thing in Jersey Shore. Like as a kid, nothing really to do was just go out and skate and cause mayhem.
Nice.
Tony Hawk.
Can't go wrong with that.
Tony Hawk, I think it was, or the Tony Hawk with slime wheels, or whatever they called it back then. Slime wheels. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking about going on Amazon and buying a board. I just looking at them, just for the hell of it, just to ride.
Do it. And while you're looking that up on the Amazons, Everett, have you found your video?
Yeah, I did. This is so funny, man. It was just fucking great. I could probably just show the the commercial here though. Actually, I'll play it here because it's just so funny. Because it's just, here it is. Got this bike. Check it out, guys.
2. 3. Oh, that's wicked.
4. Oh my goodness.
Dude, I had BMX lifestyle.
5.
BMX back in the day.
6. One was good.
Sonic 6.
What?
600 speeds from Huffy,
Tracks,
America's
I would
first
always want
choice.
to go to the track with my friends.
That right there is just freaking great. It was not Sonic 5, Sonic 6.
Wow.
Yeah, I said Sonic 5. It was Sonic
My friends
6.
always had the mongooses, man.
Yeah.
I was always jealous.
Oh yeah, mine too.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah.
nice pegs on that peg, man. The pegs. Oof.
Yeah. Now that was crazy. It was
I
like
miss the
1,
pegs.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. I would have to say my number 2 thing to get would have to be a skateboard. I got for when I was
Do I hear an echo?
when I was 15, I did a lot of skateboarding here in Daytona, and one of the things I got was my dad went down to the skate park, which is still here. It used to be called, growing up, used to be called Stonehenge. Okay, now it's called something else, but I ended up getting from a skateboard company that was, I believe, my mind, it's just been so many fucking years. It was I think it was Birdhouse or Plan B. It was one of their other companies that came up with the skateboard was called Chocolate. It was by Chico Bernes, and he was a hell of a skateboarder, man. And that board lasted through so much. I broke it going off 5 steps doing a kickflip, and as soon as I land on it, the damn board fucking split in half, man.
Did you ever have a skateboard?
That's the worst.
Did you ever have a skateboard?
I did. I had it until I tried to do a kickflip over a crack in a sidewalk, and when I landed, my left foot landed on the board, my right foot landed on concrete, and you can naturally assume what happened next.
I was like one of those kids that always had. Remember those skateboards with they actually had like the rail, the plastic rail under.
Oh yeah.
For doing slides, and then they had like a bump. You know, Tony Hawk, I think, designed it, or like Vision or somebody.
The bulge.
Remember? Like, yeah, it was like a wide board, and you could just take it everywhere.
Oh yeah, I still have one somewhere.
That's fun.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh man, but yeah, let's see. Now we're getting to the top of the list, bottom of the list, however you want to look at it. Let's see. What would be the last one? Would have to be. Gotta think about it. I can't be a gift to myself. That's too awesome.
Friendship. Friendship.
Friendship.
Yeah. That's a gift.
That just keeps on giving.
It
Keeps
does.
on giving.
It does.
Nice.
It does.
But no, but to be serious, though, I did get this pretty awesome jacket. It's a leather jacket I got from my brother-in-law because he's an avid wrestling fan. I'm an avid wrestling fan and former wrestler. So he ended up giving me this jacket, and I was like, oh, this is a pretty sweet black jacket. He's like, no, open it up, look at the back of it. Look at it, got the big old DX logo. It says, are you ready?
Nice.
And I was like, oh, and I look at the front, and it has the WWE right on the chest. I'm like, oh, that's so good. That is so good.
That is nice.
So that'd have to be my top. So, David, what would be your last one?
My top would have to be probably iPhone. iPhone.
Nice.
When I got an iPhone, I was excited to get the high-tech iPhone, you know, when it came out. How's that?
Be one of those guys.
Yeah.
That definitely works. Everett, what would be yours?
Mine would have to be, my top one would be my Sony Walkman cassette player. Yeah. I wore the hell out of some fucking cassette tapes, man. It was a Sony Walkman. I love that. It was something neat, new, and exciting. I took it everywhere I went, and I rode around
Right on my
and just
skateboard. Hold on.
played it.
So
Well,
that, me too.
Well, eventually, as a kid, I was probably about 9, 10, 11 years old. I'd listen to a lot of I forget the U2 cassette. I got it from my stepmom. I took it from her. She had a bunch of cassettes, Pink Floyd, U2, and some old classic rap. ZZ Top. That was one right there. It had Dress Man, and that one song is like, oh yeah, dun, 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 dun. Oh
Chris
yeah. Oh man. Well, I hope Santa don't fall out of his sled when he delivers presents, because I heard Santa's supposed to be swinging by here tonight, guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah, I heard he's supposed to be swinging by, and I think I hear him right now. There he is. Oh, what's he doing? What's Santa doing? Dropping presents off.
Oh, I thought that was the other video.
Oh, man.
That's coming up after, huh?
I had to do it to you guys. I had to freaking do it.
I thought there was a real request from Santa wishing some people Merry Christmas.
Yep.
Is that coming up?
What's that?
I tell you what is coming up. The Podcast City Network 12 Days of Christmas.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Can I play this thing real quick, Chris, that David sent about Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus had a message for Podcast City Network.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Do it up.
Yeah. As I can pull it up right here. I know it's like right here. Where the hell is it? Here we go. All right. Let me pull this thing up.
For the holidays.
Yep, for the holidays. Right here. This is from Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus wishing Podcasting Network a happy and Merry Christmas. What the hell?
Merry Christmas, Podcast City Network. We'll see you soon. Ho, 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 ho.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Podcast. Definitely awesome. That just happened this year. That was pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right before Christmas. Believe that?
That definitely was.
You can't go wrong with that.
Nope. No. You can't go wrong with that. Podcast City,
But now back to Chris Carnage going 12 days is something. What do you got?
The Podcast City Network 12 Days of Christmas. And all the hard work we put in all this year now to get to the holiday season and the end of 2018. I tell you what, it's an epic time. I actually wrote me a little song.
No.
Yes.
No.
A song.
No way. You did. No way. Oh man. That's great. I cannot wait to hear this. I guess do you need some music or anything?
I might need a little bit.
Might need just a little bit. Let me see if I can find something here
just
to
a little bit.
Yeah. Let me see if I can
find out what it means to be. Oh, sorry.
All right, I'm going through this tracks right here I have on my computer. I have a bunch of audio on here because I always have something on here shit. There we go. All right, Chris, whenever you're ready, you just let me know. And
warm up those pipes.
We go.
Born ready.
Let me put the camera on you. Let it rip.
On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me one anniversary show. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me second rounds of podcasts. On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 Radio Bros, second rounds of podcast, and 1 anniversary show. On the 4th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 site updates, 3 Radio Bros, second rounds of podcast, and 1 anniversary show. On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 5 top 5 lists, 4 site updates, 3 Radio Bros, second rounds of podcast, and 1 anniversary show. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 beers for draft day, 5 top 5 lists, 4 site uploads, 3 Radio Bros, second rounds of podcast, and 1 anniversary show. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 HD cams, 6 beers for draft day, 5 top 5 lists, 4 site uploads, 3 Radio Bros, second rounds of podcast, and 1 anniversary show. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 microphones, 7 HD cams, 6 beers for draft day, 5 top 5 lists. I don't care where the music's at this point. 4 site uploads, 3 Radio Bros, second rounds of podcast, and 1 anniversary show. On the 9th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 9 network shirts, 8 microphones, 7 HD cams, 6 beers for draft day, 5 top 5 lists, 4 site uploads, 3 Radio Bros, second rounds of podcast, and 1 anniversary show. On the 10th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 10 thumbtack matches, 9 network shirts, 8 microphones, 7 HD cams, 6 beers for draft day, 5 top 5 lists, 4 site uploads, 3 Radio Bros, second rounds of podcast, and 1 anniversary show. On the 11th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 11 interviews, 10 thumbtack matches, 9 network shirts, 8 microphones, 7 HD cams, 6 beers for draft day, 5 top 5 lists, 4 site uploads, 3 Radio Bros, second round of podcast, and 1 anniversary show. On the 12th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 12 months of work, 11 interviews, 10 thumbtack matches, 9 network shirts, 8 microphones, 7 HD cams, 6 beers for draft day, 5 top 5 lists, 4 site uploads, 3 Radio Bros, second rounds of podcast, and 1 anniversary show.
Chris Carnage.
Yeah.
Chris Carnage. Chris Carnage.
Nice.
Chris Carnage.
Nice. That was freaking great.
Yes.
I'm gonna have to clip that, and I'm basically gonna have to make that right there. The we're gonna have to put that out there for the podcasting.
Yeah. And I fully endorse that message.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yes.
And talking about
Yes.
podcasts, yeah, let me give you a yes here.
Yes! 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 Fickle! Yes! Fickle! Yes! Fickle! Yes! Fickle! Yes! Fickle!
Pickle.
Yep.
It could be a
Wow.
hot dog too.
Now, one thing, Chris, that speaking of podcasting network that I happened to mention was that There's quite a bit, I mean, that we've discussed and that we've talked about for Podcast City Network in 2019. What can we spoil that people can look forward to in 2019 for Podcast City Network? What can we...
With the Podcast City Network, we have so many things that are lined up for this upcoming year. I literally have a file that is very extensive with a lot of the plans and the things that we plan on doing. Looks a lot like that sheet of paper right there. And, no, just kidding. But we really do have a lot of things planned. We don't want to spoil too much because we plan on making a lot of great announcements at our 1-year anniversary show on January 26, 2019. But I can let go a few little things tonight. The first being that we actually just did a major update to the homepage of the podcastcity.net website, which will now include a lot of our events, latest news, happenings, and quicker access to the podcast you want right now. So if you haven't checked it out, go on head on over because I just made it live. Go to podcastcity.net, check out everything that we got in our new and improved homepage.
Well, you know what I could do right here? Right here.
Right here?
Right here. Right here. I can actually pull up the website right here. Let's screenshot it right here. All right. All right. You'll see my Google page, everyone. This is how I got my Google Chrome set up, which is just fucking great. Just access stuff right away. All I have to do is go to my Podcast City Network page. Boom. Look at that right there. Here's the new layout, Podcast City Network right there. You have shows such as the Everett Lee Show, ELS Uncut, Wrestle Podcast, the deleted wrestling podcast coming back in 2019, Chris Carnage Show, Deathmatch Russell Podcast, Imaginary with Scott and Todd, Super Raider Brothers, Final Score, Second Rounds, New York and Florida Edition right there. And of course, you got our latest events right here that was posted up today about Battle on the Borders Christmas Chaos 2018. Right there, you get our news, events, and see what's going on right then and there, and the latest updates happening with people such as Robin Nelson and Second Rounds New York Edition heading out to events. And there's one right there that just happened just this past month. Right there for Second Rounds. But you can check out a lot of things. And, of course, Deathmatch Russell Podcast, debut of WH2O Women's Wrestling. You get to see stuff like that and read about it. Event posters, slideshow photos taken by our host of podcast on Podcast City Network. And if you click on a show, we'll click on Deathmatch Russell Podcast. Boom. I'm right to the page.
I got to upgrade that. I think I'm about to put the poster up there. That's what I need to do now. But Collar and Elbow is now on there, folks. That's right. You can check out our merchandise. Support your wrestling by buying Collar and Elbow.
Right here.
Off.
I got a highlight right there. Right there. You can save 10% by using the promo code Deathmatch Russell Podcast. And you click on the link right here in his episode descriptions. It will take you directly into
does it go?
Collar and Elbow right here on their website and on their homepage right there. Use that promo code Deathmatch Russell Podcast to save 10% on Collar and Elbow Wrestling brand. Help support David C. Russell at Deathmatch Russell Podcast and support indie wrestling.
Because those funds go to wrestling and they go to a certain bunch of guys. So.
Yes, they do. So be sure to use that promo code Deathmatch Russell Podcast when you go to collarandelbow.com and you'll be able to save 10%. Now back to you, Chris.
But not only they can save 10%, but they can also buy a T-shirt of Deathmatch Russell Podcast because I'm always trying to sell these things and nobody wants to buy them. Just give them away. So you got to support the product and buy a pin. I got bumper stickers and T-shirts through my store. Maybe there's a better way I could do it instead. I have to look into that. Maybe you could help me with that, Chris.
I mean, you could always get on a street corner, maybe spin a sign. We could take video of it. Maybe do it in your trunks or biker shorts, and we can make some things happen, man.
Yeah.
All right.
He makes some things happen. I know.
Guys, spare change, man.
David rolls up to a wrestling event. David rolls up to a wrestling event there, and basically he pops his trunk open, and he's like,
"Here's Johnny. Here's Johnny.
Here's
Johnny."
And basically it's like,
you know,
hey,
we
man.
are talking about selling a bunch of merch and stuff. Another little tidbit I guess I can let people in on. 2019 sneak peek is sometime this upcoming year, won't say when, there will be a PCN shop opening up on the website where you can get some of the latest Podcast City Network apparel and party items that we will have provided. So definitely make sure that you keep your eyes peeled on all of our social media offerings and on our website, and make sure that you keep your eyes peeled for when that announcement comes, and it's going to come hard.
Yes. Let's give a round of applause for that.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's what she said.
Well, that's, you know, when we're excited for that party, you know, that's going to be something really special.
Oh, yeah. January 26th, we're going to be having the 1-year anniversary show at beautiful City Limits Tap Room located in D-Land, Florida. It's going to be a great time. A lot of good stuff that's going to be going on. We're going to have food specials, drink specials. We're going to have Craig Thompson Project coming and playing. We're going to have our live podcast doing recordings with all of our fans. It's going to be so good. And, of course, all the huge announcements that we're going to be having. Definitely make sure that you come out and check it out. $8 cover from 2 to 12 a.m., January 26, 2019 at City Limits Tap Room.
That's going to be awesome.
And,
that's gonna be
it's going to be amazing.
True.
Just make sure you come check us out and get more info at podcastcity.net and on all of our social media offerings. I really can't wait. It's going to be such a great time. So much going on. There's going to be so many people there. And I tell you what, it is not an event that you want to miss. You definitely want to come out. And we will go ahead and make the announcement here because we actually haven't announced it yet. You'll be seeing the return of Draft Day at the 1-year anniversary show. Whoa! And we're going to pull in some of our hosts to do some beer tasting with us and do our first official pick of the month for 2019.
That's right.
Wow.
God, it's going to be great.
It's going to be great, man. It is 2019.
Yeah, it's going to be a great show, man. 2019, January 26th. Make sure you're there because we will be.
And I will be. I'll be there.
Yep, that's right. That's right. You're coming down. You are coming down, man. It's gonna be great having Deathmatch Russell Podcast down here in Daytona in DeLand, Florida. You know, it's gonna be great. It definitely is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But man, I tell you what, though, I think we're getting near the end of it, man. This is, I think, the end of our holiday special.
Is this the goodbye of 2018?
I think this is our 2018 official goodbye. Yeah, it's been a wonderful time. You know, it's been a great show. Thank you both for being here. I love having you guys here. That we were able to come together for this network special.
Absolutely.
But first things first, David, you want to go ahead, tell people what you'd like to tell them?
Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see y'all pretty soon. And stay tuned, because you don't know what kind of podcast Deathmatch Russell's going to bring to you. And this and that, and this and that, and lots more to come. I'm going to be doing some stuff. How's that? Stay tuned and check out me out on social media, on my usual networks. Everett will plug them. As usual, you can find Deathmatch Russell Podcast on Facebook, and Twitter, and there and there.
Twitter, and there and there.
I think you kind of tapered off there. Everett, why don't you take it home on that one?
Hold on, breathe.
What? Take it home on that one. Yeah.
Where can you find Deathmatch Russell?
Yeah, I mean, you're all over the place on social media, man.
I am.
You're on iTunes.
Yeah, he is, but
pretty much.
Where can they find it?
Where can they find more Deathmatch Russell Podcast? Where can they find more Deathmatch Russell Podcast at?
Let me tell you.
Where can they find more?
You can find more Deathmatch Russell podcasts on the following social media: deathmatchrussell.com. Follow on Twitter at DavidNJ32. And on Facebook, facebook.com/DJDaveNJ32. Find me on Podcast City Network at podcastcity.net. Facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit the like button and share. And on Twitter at Podcast City Net. You can hear Deathmatch Russell Podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes.
Wow. That's a lot, David.
Man, that was one breath. That was a lot. I don't know how you did that.
It's great.
Man, that's crazy. You did a great job, sir, and thank you for coming on again. Always
right.
a pleasure. But Everett, where can they find the Everett Lee Show and ELS Uncut?
Well, you can always find Everett Lee Show on podcastcity.net. You can follow Everett Lee Show on Facebook on the Facebook page, The Everett Lee Show, and on Twitter at the Everett_Lee. And you can listen to Everett Lee Show on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Libsyn.com, and coming in 2019, I have an announcement for this, for the Everett Lee Show. Those audio listeners, 2019, look for Everett Lee Show coming to iHeartRadio and on Spotify for 2019.
Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And if you want to find more things, Chris Carnage, all you got to do is go on social media. It's that easy. Because you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/Chris Carnage Official to find out a lot of the latest happenings. Or you can pop over onto Twitter at Planet Carnage, find out a lot of more information there. Or maybe you can just meander on over onto my Twitch, to twitch.tv/Chris Carnage Official, and check out some of the latest episodes of The Chris Carnage Show as we bring you some of the greatest guests, such as most notably Sean Phoenix as of recent. So definitely make sure that you check us out, or pop on over to podcastcity.net. Check out my page there and some of my latest episodes. Give us a like, give us a comment, give us a share. Get out there and support your local podcasting.
That's right.
But I tell you what, this has been a great show. Thank you guys so much for coming on, but we're going to have to call it a good night. Thank you, everyone, for joining us on Twitch and on podcastcity.net for this great holiday special that we brought to you. The Podcast City Network presents Christmas Carnage.
That's
so thank
right.
you, everyone. Have yourself a happy holiday, a safe holiday, and if we don't see you before 2019, have a happy new year.
And have a Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
There we go. Got a little bit of snow here. You guys can't see this though, but here we are.
A little bit of snow.
Yep.
Oh.
There we go. Merry Christmas from Podcast City Network. There you go. That's it. We're going to hit the end graphic, and we are out of here like Vladimir. That is right. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho.
Ho, 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 ho. Have a happy new year. And thank you for watching.
Kick the chain, you filthy animal. Oh, sorry.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.